Hello and welcome to episode 43 of Some Like It Real. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Veronica.
And we're two cinephiles who love to talk movies.
We have weekly episodes discussing the newest films, creating lists and drafts, and keeping you updated on the latest movie headlines and awards races.
As a reminder, please like, rate, and subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms, which helps more people find the show.
And share it with any cinephiles in your life.
Today, we're bringing you a fun draft as we will be discussing our favorite threequels.
Yes, we have done the direct sequels draft a few months back, so consider this a direct sequel to the direct sequels draft.
And instead of it being about direct sequels, it's about threequels in a regular style draft.
And what better way to do this than by bringing back the guests from that previous draft?
Yes, join us today, Meredith Loftus.
Guess who made it to the Threequel, guys?
And Nick Beisel.
You know what? This is my threequel, so I think I'm going to do quite well today.
Makes sense. We shall see. So thank you, Meredith and Nick, for being here. We are very excited to have you both back on. Before we get started, Bryan, would you like to explain the rules and categories to our listeners?
Absolutely. So we'll each be drafting teams of 6 films, no categories, just a regular style draft where we draft a threequel to a film. That means it has to be the third installment.
For additional clarification, if it's the second installment of a trilogy, or the third installment of a trilogy, like, say, The Rise of Skywalker, which, ranked very highly on our Star Wars draft, I believe second to last. So definitely a film to be talked about today. For example, that one would be eligible as the conclusion of a trilogy.
This is going to be a very fun draft. Who knows where it'll go? I'm very excited to see what direction we take this in. But with that, it is time to pick the draft order. I'm not going to go around asking who wants to go first, who wants to go last, who wants to be at the turn, yada, yada, yada. I have our names on a wheel, wheelofnames.com. As usual, thank you for not sponsoring this podcast. We really appreciate you letting us use your site for this. So without further ado, it's time to spin the wheel. Here we go. Click.
What color am I?
First up is going to be...
Almost me. It's Meredith.
Rigged! This is rigged!
Meredith got first last time.
Okay, let's see who number 2 is, then we'll know.
Bryan, that wheel is going to have to answer for some things.
Number 2 will be...
It's rigged.
Almost me. I'm not. And it's Nick.
It's... What is happening?
Did you get second last time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Now I'm really terrified. Oh, my God. Wait.
Almost me and not.
Oh, my God. It's rigged.
It's rigged! What's that site again? We might need to sue.
I'm surprised you don't have a sponsorship for a gambling website on here.
Honestly, it doesn't surprise me. Oh, what the fuck? What?
That's wild. Exact same order.
Oh,
and
my
it teased
God.
me every single time.
This is insane. Like, I don't even know what to say.
Come back.
Unbelievable.
They heard you being snarky about not sponsoring us and decided to throw you off.
That's just not fair. So, the draft order will be Meredith, Nick, me, Veronica. So, same order as last time. Before we get into drafting, let's just go around and talk a bit about threequels overall. What do you look for when you watch a threequel? Do you hope that it's better than the sequel? Do you hope that it's on par? What do you expect from a threequel? What's your stance on that? Meredith, let's go to you first.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the nature of the movies being represented. Like, if it's a trilogy, I want the threequel to deliver well. This is the third act of the story, the ending of the story. So I want to see if the sequel was fantastic. I want it to hit that bar as well. Hitting the emotional beats, concluding storylines, having things wrapped up very well. That is important to me. If it's the third installment in a larger franchise, similar things, I want the bar to be there. I want to see a step up from what we've seen before, but I also want to dig in deeper into these characters. I want to see some risk being taken, maybe some stylistic choices being done. to where it's called for, which I think we will be talking about that with some of the picks today. So, yeah, those are kind of the main things I look for.
How about you, Nick? What's your stance on threequels, and what do you look for when you watch them?
I hope that it sucks. I really like a finale that's awful and just really leaves a sour taste in my mouth so that I never come
It's a
back.
real disappointment.
No, I mean I really don't know how to. Yeah, I really don't know how to explain it any better. I want something that's fulfilling. That because typically it's the end of a trilogy, so yeah, I want something that will leave me satisfied. Maybe kind of continue to build on whatever lore, or it depends on the structure of the film, but just something that in the end I guess feels fulfilling and not just another product.
Veronica, going to you, posing the same question to you.
Yeah, going into this draft, I think I was like, hell yeah, tons of trilogies that I love. And then actually looking at the list of the actual threequels, I was like, do feel like it tends to be like 1 and 2 are, solid, amazing, whatever, and then there does sometimes tend to be a drop off with the third one, whether it's the conclusion of a trilogy or like we were saying in a larger series. So I mean not universally. There are definitely fantastic, amazing movies that we're gonna get to talk about today. But I do think it's interesting when you've got 2 movies that come before to compare it to. So does this continue the high? Does it elevate things, or is it there's just a bigger chance for disappointment or for something to be divisive. So I think it could be an interesting list. I think it's like, I don't think there's too many, agreed upon for sure definite classics. I think there's a lot of good debate to be had about, what finishes off its series well, or what's a great continuation. So I think this is maybe even more rife for discussion than the direct sequels draft.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. I feel like there's a couple great picks, but it's mostly just like good picks. Solid.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to
I agree. I think that there's definitely plenty of good ones when I was looking over a list of threequels and everything, and there are some that are definitely deemed classics, maybe the best of their respective series and everything. And I'm so curious to see what direction we all go into when we draft our films and everything. But yeah, to me, a good threequel depends on how you enhance the story, how you heighten it, where you take it, for the better or for the worse. So yeah, there's not a ton to add with that discussion, but yeah, I'm really excited to get into a whole bunch of these films. Some of these films that are eligible for today's draft, we haven't drafted on any of our drafts, so I'm really excited to talk about them. So I say without further ado, let's just get right into the draft.
Let's do it.
Meredith, how are you going to kick us off today with this draft? Last time when we drafted together, your first pick was Paddington 2. Are you going to draft Paddington in Peru?
I
Spoilers.
love Paddington in Peru. I think it is an excellent film. I definitely considered it one of my favorites last year when it came out. But that is not where I'm going with my first overall pick. Now, if my favorite Peruvian bear is still available by the end of this draft, it may be the perfect capper for me to start and end with Paddington of my time here on the podcast. But for today, I'm kicking things off with Logan.
Ooh, good one.
Great pick.
Yes. So
Okay.
everyone talks about how The Dark Knight is the greatest superhero movie ever made.
It's not.
I would argue that Logan actually belongs in that conversation.
It does.
And I would even venture to say it surpasses it in my mind in recent years. Like, Logan has held so much firmer for me how excellent a superhero film could be, and an R-rated superhero movie. Christopher Nolan was held back by a PG-13 rating. Here, James Mangold was not. We get Logan at his roughest. He is on the run, trying to get Laura X-23 out of the country for her safety. he begrudgingly does it. This is a neo-Western, it's a road movie, and it is filled with the brutality that you find in some of the best Westerns out there. We get to see Logan draw blood, and it is worth it. Just like every punch, every kill that he makes, it costs him something, and that is so fascinating to me. You also get Patrick Stewart giving arguably his best performance in years. This is his best superhero outing. He should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Like, watching Professor X, the strongest telepath in the entire world, is dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's. That is heartbreaking. That is like pathos right there. And then when he, spoilers, I'm so sorry, when he dies from X-24, and he thinks that it's Logan, the final things that he said is, it just breaks my heart every single time. The music is fantastic. James Mangold directs this out of the park. And this is one of the few superhero movies that has received an adapted screenplay nomination. This was such a big deal when this came out, and it is worthy of every part of praise. And we say what you will about Deadpool and Wolverine, also could have counted for this. They even took time to respect the legacy that Logan has, because they know just how good of a movie this is. Hugh Jackman might be playing Wolverine until he's 90, but my goodness, I am so glad I got a movie like Logan out of him.
This is my favorite comic book superhero movie of all time. Everything that you said, it is, quite frankly. And like, X-Men admittedly is not a franchise that I've ever obsessed over. I like X-Men, but it's never been like the superhero franchise that I gravitated towards. Logan floored me in every possible direction, and everything that Meredith said is absolutely true. When it got that screenplay nom at the Oscars, I thought that was so cool. The fact that a superhero comic book film was able to make its way into being nominated for Best Screenplay, and I think that it was absolutely deserving. You brought up that Patrick Stewart should have been nominated. I absolutely agree. I think Hugh Jackman, you can make the argument that he also should have been nominated for this. And I know that he was getting a lot more buzz for The Greatest Showman that year, which is not an awful movie. And it's fun that he got to do two different kinds of performances that year. But this is the superior performance. This is the superior film. And it wrapped up Logan's story beautifully. I admittedly wasn't really happy with the fact that they brought him back for Deadpool and Wolverine. I do agree with you in how they do pay respect to Logan, and I really appreciate that element. But if this had been Hugh Jackman's swan song as the character, it would have been one of the great swan songs for any character ever. And you could still consider it a swan song if you want to. That's how I consider it, quite frankly. But yeah, everything you said, the neo-Western approach to it, the last act is absolutely devastating, and it's so brutal, and it doesn't shy away from the brutalness. And I think that it was one of the best films of that year. And I think it's a film that has only grown for me. It's aged really well. And yeah, I do think that, yes, The Dark Knight is often considered one of, if not maybe the best comic book superhero film of all time. And I love The Dark Knight. It's great. But there's something about Logan that just strikes much harder for me.
Yeah, I forgot this was the same year as Greatest Showman. That's like literally
That's
the two
crazy.
greatest sides of Hugh Jackman on like full display, which is so wild. And yeah, this is totally. And I mean, kind of contrary to what I was saying before, I think this is an entry where it would be pretty universally agreed that this is the best one in the trilogy, because it just totally it ups the stakes. It like improves, it creates its whole own style and ethos and everything, and just it just completely like blows the other two Wolverine centric ones out of the water. But it doesn't do the superhero thing of like getting bigger and bigger. It scales down. It becomes a more intimate story, and it also doesn't do the thing that in the wake of Dark Knight, which would be my favorite superhero movie, but so many copycats in the wake of Dark Knight just said, oh, everything just has to be dark and gritty, and like that's the answer to a successful superhero movie. And this one, it is, but it's all based in character, and it's all it plays on what we've seen come before. And like you're saying, the idea of Professor X dealing with dementia is like that's such a visceral thing for us to watch play out. So yeah, I think that it subverts some tropes that had already been well established, and just tells a really fantastic story with this like larger than life characters.
And I also want to quickly highlight the fact that this movie, to me, already it showcased me what our future of automation looks like. The fact that like Logan is in the service industry driving a limo, and we see these 18 wheelers are self-driving, and we live in a time where we are seeing more self-driving cars like Ubers coming around. And this was the movie that kind of showed me, oh, this is what the future looks like. It's not going to be this sleek high-tech thing. It's going to be like updated technology in very mundane places. And that, I think, is a testament to just James Mangold's like vision for this and just how he grounded everything. And also, Daphne Keane is a revelation in this movie. She
Spectacular.
holds this movie together wordlessly for most of the movie, and she is the heart of this movie. She is just as brutal and violent, but there's just so much hurt there, and she communicates it so effortlessly, and the chemistry that she has with Hugh Jackman is just unparalleled. Sorry, Nick, I just had to like say
No,
that.
She's a
please.
force of nature in that. Fantastic child performance.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's a secret to anybody that knows me that I'm not a big fan of superhero movies. So when I watched this and I was floored, it tells you something, because I think it does a lot of the things that I want to see, which is what you guys have spoken about, how it's grounded, how it is dark and gritty and violent, but it also deals with themes like mortality and just, I don't know, just it felt like it had something to say rather than a dime a dozen. Well, let's just throw out, a superhero film with some cameos and get everybody clapping and laughing. It just felt like this meant something to the people that made it, and I just, it's not one that I go back to frequently, but as far as superhero films go, it's up there. It's up there as far as the ones that I really, really enjoy.
Yeah, so true. It's a great superhero movie, but it's also a great movie even if you don't like superhero movies. It just, it's just an all around, gets everything right in the dramatic sense and everything else.
Yeah, Nick, you brought up a point of how you're not a superhero film guy at all, and you were really floored by this. My father is also not into superhero movies, and he saw this with my mom, and he loved it. He was really blown away by how, like everyone said, it was very grounded and intimate and raw instead of just focusing on like crime and capes and all this other stuff that we see in these superhero movies. So, yeah, I think more superhero films should take notes from Logan and everything. But yeah, great first pick. Great pick to kick off the entire draft. And Nick, we're going to you. So what is going to be your first pick of the draft?
Well, like I said at the beginning, there's a few great picks out there. So I think I want to start out strong, swing for the fences, and I'm going to go with Return of the King.
Yep.
It's
Makes sense.
it's a masterpiece. It's hard to I don't like to throw that word around, but it's about as good as it gets as far as the end of a trilogy. It's part prequel, it's part sequel, it's part epic. Like, it's just everything you want from not only a film, but I guess like a conclusion. It is endlessly rewatchable. It is, oh god, it makes me tear up just thinking about it. Just thinking about the journey that not only the characters have gone on, but the one that we've gone on with them. It's exhausting, and it's also beautiful, but by the end you feel like something's been accomplished and evil has been vanquished. And it's again, like Logan, it was recognized as real cinema by the Oscars, and I think being able to be a fantasy film and be accepted by your peers, I think that's a big accomplishment. I think that what Peter Jackson did is just, I don't know if we'll ever see anything like it again.
Yeah, for sure. I know that I've said on the.
I feel
You
like
shocked
I
everyone
feel like
into
I'm
silence.
delayed, and I feel like people not nodding along. I'm like, oh god, am I saying something stupid? This is not making sense.
No, no worries. Yeah, there's just a slight delay, but it's not that bad. But yeah, but I've said on the pod that I have a very slight preference for Fellowship, like in the trilogy. But
Agreed.
this is an example of, this is for sure in the conversation of like best trilogy of all time, because the quality is just so maintained throughout. Like this is one where there was not any sort of drop off. I think pretty much everyone considers it to be a wonderful conclusion. Give or take a few endings or whatever. But I think most people are mostly on board, and I am as well. So like, yeah, I think that this is just a perfect example of like bringing everything home, maintaining the quality, maintaining the like consistency. I mean, they filmed so much of it together for the three movies that it just feels like, there's no drop off. There's no sense of inconsistency. It just, everything just feels like one giant epic story, and this is like the perfect conclusion to it. So yeah, makes total sense.
I'm in the same camp as Veronica in that I am a bit more partial to Fellowship, but afterwards it is like Return to the King. I think it is it's one of the few perfect fantasy films out there, and the fact that the Academy actually decided to give it the recognition it deserves is such a huge testament. Just like the story, how it wraps up. I love what you said, Nick, about like it feels exhausting because we have been on this journey with them for so long, so that the ending feels so earned. And I am a fan of the extended editions. That's the only way to watch them. So like every ending counts to me. It all hits and it all works for me. And I cannot clear the scene when Aragorn says, "You bow for no man." I cry every single time. It kills me. But I just think it's such a fantastic film. Every time I watch it, I always like end with a smile and happy tears on my face that I went on this journey again with them.
Yeah, we've talked about these movies many times on the pod. I've drafted all three of them in previous drafts. It is my favorite trilogy. For a long time, this was my favorite of the trilogy, but it wasn't until maybe about 2 or 3 years ago where Fellowship became my favorite as well. But this is like neck and neck. To me, all three of them are 5-star masterpieces, and it's really hard to like decipher which one is the best because they're all equally fantastic on their own. And yeah, I love how you described this journey, Nick, as being exhausting, but it was so rewarding when we got to the end of it. And it was sad when it was over because we went through so much with these characters throughout 3 movies, 12 hours total. It felt like we spent so long with them. And when it came to an end, it was just like, it was a journey that despite the harrowing nature of it, I wanted to just go back to the beginning and do it all over again. It's really incredible. So many great scenes. We brought up of how great it is that it got recognized by the Academy, won all 11 Oscars it was nominated for, including Best Picture. Sean Astin should have been in the conversation for this trilogy, especially his work in Return of the King. We talk about throughout each movie that he has a scene that makes everybody cry, and in this movie, the "I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you," and then the music swells. Just genius.
So
that's our SAG president right there, just ripping out our hearts. Oh
Just
God,
so many like
that trilogy really is the best. And the I agree, Meredith. I agree. The extended editions are the definitive way of watching. And yeah, I can't watch these movies without watching the extended editions. I do love the theatrical editions, but the extended editions are like, that's the way to watch these movies.
I don't think think I could tell the difference between them anymore.
I could point out some scenes because I've seen the theatrical version so many times growing up. But yeah, now I'm at a point where now it's like kind of meshing into one. So yeah, oh my God, what a
if you're gonna watch it, you commit to the extended.
Yeah,
yeah.
There's no picking.
It's the way to go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so Meredith took Logan, Nick took Lord of the Rings. I think what I'm going to do, I'm between two films, but I think it would be remiss of me to not go with this. So for my first pick, I'm going to go with Toy Story 3.
Yep.
Yeah,
Would have been mine.
So the last time that we did a draft all together, a Toy Story film was obviously eligible. Toy Story 2 was on the board and everything, and we talked about our love for Toy Story. We did our Pixar draft recently. We obviously just reviewed Toy Story 5 for the pod. It's crazy that we live in a world where they're still making Toy Story movies all these years later. And I just remember so vividly when this came out in 2010, and everybody had thought that this was the end of the Toy Story series. And to many people, they still consider this the end because there are people out there that don't like the two that follow this. I'm a big fan of 4 and 5. Admittedly, like if it were up to me, I would have ended the series here. I would have been fine with that. But I do really like 4 and 5. But Toy Story 3, I've always really appreciated how this trilogy does something so unique to where each of these films, these first 3 in particular, are about something completely different. And I said this on our Pixar draft. The first Toy Story is about learning how to share love. Toy Story 2 is about learning to love even though you know it might hurt you one day. And this one is about learning when it's time to let go. And when I was a kid and I watched this, I didn't really pick up on all of that. But as I got older and everything, like I started realizing the pieces that were being put together throughout this entire trilogy. And I just think that it is a beautiful way of wrapping up Andy's story. The movie, and I've watched it dozens of times, it makes me laugh every time, makes me cry every time. The incinerator scene still gives me nightmares to this day, all these years later, which is crazy. And I think that if you were to look at how to wrap up a trilogy, I mean, we talked about Logan, we talked about Lord of the Rings. This is another great example of how to wrap up a trilogy, and they did a beautiful job. This is my favorite of the Toy Story franchise, but I think that the first 3, all of them are perfect movies. So one day it could be the first one day it could be the second, but for most of the time, this is my favorite. So yeah, Toy Story 3. What else is there to say? It's sad that this is the last movie to be nominated for Best Picture that was also an animated film. Hopefully that changes very soon. But yeah, there's a reason why this is so celebrated. There's a reason why Quentin Tarantino considers this, I think, one of the best films of the 2010s. And yeah, it's just it the one time that he is right is what he says about this movie.
What he thinks.
Make his last film. That's all I want to hear from him. But he can have one really good opinion. And this is one of them, for sure.
Anyway, Toy Story 3 is great. Those are my thoughts. That's it.
So, Toy Story 3, when I saw this, it came out the summer before I started my senior year of high school. So this movie wrecked me as a high schooler about to graduate just like Andy and go off to college and say goodbye to childhood officially. I can't clear this movie without crying, bar none, especially that last scene between Andy and Bonnie. Oh my gosh, I'm giving myself chills. When Andy and Bonnie are playing with the toys, and then he drives off, and Andy says, "So long, partner." Like, I have actual chills on my arm right now. They just handled that so beautifully. The passing of the torch. What does it mean to let go? You have an excellent villain in Lotso.
Yeah.
I also love a good heist prison break scene, which they do that in this movie. The addition of Ken, voiced by Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't even bring that up. I can't believe I didn't even bring that up. Michael Keaton as Ken, that's an all-timer performance.
An all-timer performance. It's so good. And it incorporates all of the toys really well.
And Spanish Buzz.
Yeah, and Spanish Buzz, who could forget. But I do think, I love 4 and 5 as well, and I like where it's going with this Bonnie trilogy of Toy Story movies, which at this point, after Toy Story 5, I'm like, you can just keep making Toy Story movies. Every time I say you should stop, you keep hitting it out the park for me.
Exactly. Exactly.
But talking about the Andy trilogy, this was the perfect way to do it. They knocked it out of the park, and they rightfully were nominated for Best Picture. Especially like where Pixar started to where it was at that point in 2010, you cannot deny that you had to show it the recognition and give it that type of honor, because Pixar changed animation like on a film scale, and for it to mature to that place, like the Academy did something right there, and Quentin Tarantino clearly had a good opinion about this, because it is one of the best films of the 2010s, and I would, if somebody disagreed, I'm like, fight me, like, let's go.
Yeah, like Bryan, like you said, we've had a lot of Toy Story talk on the pod, and so not too much else to add. But yeah, I would say just on my last rewatch, definitely I was like, hadn't seen it in a long time before then, and I was like, definitely bracing for the incinerator scene. Is like, oh, that's gonna be the big one. And I mean, it is shocking. It's so shocking that it gets that dark and everything, and you see the toys like accept their fate of death and everything. It's like very intense, but for sure it was the last scene with Andy, like, giving them to Bonnie, that I just absolutely destroyed me. I was like, what the hell were they doing to us? And we've talked about, I love that it kind of ages in real time, like, from pretty much the age Andy would have been, in the first and second, and then aging him up along with the audience. Like, that's just so smart. I love how the dog ages along with him. Like, just so many smart decisions like that are just a cheat code to get right to your damn heart, and it works like a charm to this day.
I think there was always an edgy part of myself that was like, oh, I wish they would have gone for it with the incinerator scene. But I there's a reason that they're making these movies and I'm not. Who's the better Ken? Michael Keaton or Ryan Gosling?
Ryan Gosling.
Oh,
It's tough.
I want a battle between the two of them because I don't know.
They need to beat each other off just to
They
decide.
do.
Each other off.
The Kenergy would be too much. I don't know if we could handle it.
They're both Kenough.
They are both enough.
Wow, that was beautiful. I don't really have anything extra to add. I think it would have been perfect ending there. And while I like 4, have yet to see 5. I don't think it tarnishes it as a trilogy or anything. I think it's just kind of again, and it's an M word.
It is. It's so hard to watch this and not slap the 5-star on it. It's just so perfect.
All right, Toy Story putting up numbers again. Very, very frequent in our drafts. So I will do my next pick, or my first pick. Let's see. I mentioned that there are a lot of franchises that have like solid to great entries here, and there's like a lot of them that I would be like very happy to get. So I'm kind of gonna like let that sit for now and see what's left for me on my next pick, and I'll go more with like some personal favorites right now. So for my first pick, I will take. We've talked about this trilogy before as well. I'm gonna take Before Midnight.
I had a feeling that was
Yeah.
what was going to happen.
I had Before Sunset on the last one. So let me just continue completing the set. I've talked about this trilogy probably above the other ones that we've talked about so far. I like cannot pick a favorite. I just feel like they're all part of a whole. The fact that they all exist in relation to one another makes it the special trilogy. Like, it makes it even more special than they would be on their own. And I don't know, I think there's kind of a general consensus that I think most people would probably say like Sunset's the best. It's that midway point in the story, and it's kind of like crazy that they had a continuation in the first place. And but I don't know, Before Midnight, I'm just a fucking sicko who thinks that like them kind of seeing the relationship and the realities of it after being such a fantasy and so this crazy sweeping romantic story that we see play out in the first one, and then we see the reaction to it not coming to fruition in the second, and now we see the fruition of it, and like it's just so smart that it just is the reality of that. Like I still think it is a fairly romantic movie. I think that we still get to know these characters, and they're both very smart, romantic, whimsical sort of people. Like they're still the same characters we've seen, but just life has fucking happened to them and to them as a couple. And so I think it's just very honest about that. It is not afraid to go there. We're kind of seeing them on this, very sort of having this particularly intense fight that is, surely not there every day, but it's probably also not the first time this has happened either. So it all just feels very lived in. It feels like it's momentous enough to like drop in on them at this time in their life. And yeah, I can totally see that this one has a bit of a different vibe from the other two. It's not quite as much, just the two characters or as much of a like walk and talk kind of thing. It feels a little more claustrophobic, but I kind of like that. I kind of like that it's getting a little more fucked up as it goes along, even though a lot of that heart and romance that we loved in the beginning is still kind of there under the surface.
I think that fight scene is maybe the best in all of film. How it starts from nothing, and then it just feels organic. It feels real, and it sucks seeing them be in that situation, but you can't turn away because it's Jesse and Celine, and you have to reconcile. You can't do this. You love each other. It's so good.
Yeah, I said that Lord of the Rings is my favorite trilogy. I think that this is like neck and neck. Like this is like a close second for me, and I love all three of these films. Sunset is my favorite, admittedly, but Midnight is so remarkable. And yeah, the fight, I mean, Nick might be correct. It might be the greatest fight in the movie I've ever seen. It's incredible. And like, I can't even imagine, like I always say this when talking about this trilogy, I can't imagine watching the first one when it came out in the 90s and then watching this when it came out. You're like, it was just 20 years ago when I saw the first one. I never thought we would get to this point. And the fight just culminating with her just storming out the hotel room. You stupid American man. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant trilogy. Julie Delpy, Ethan Hawke, just two of our finest. Linklater is one of the greats. Perfect trilogy, perfect movie. No notes.
My favorite Richard Linklater movie is still School of Rock.
That's a fair take.
But I do agree that of the great trilogies to ever be made, the Before trilogy is arguably one of the best, if not the best, depending on your genre, your taste. And I love what you said, Veronica, because it's so true. Like, I like that this one is just so deeply honest. The first two are very much about like the highlights of young love and reuniting years later and seeing that spark still there, but having the gall years later to come back and be like, what if the spark isn't there? Is there still love underneath that? And I just love the way that they explore it. And I love the way that they still find their way back to each other at the end, even though, like, yes, that fight is so intense and you just see, like, as I have to go back and think about, like, great cinematic fights. I do think it is up there, but, like, I don't know if I can go on record and be like, that was the greatest movie fight of all time. But it is so good, but I love the way that it, like, ends in a similar quiet spot to how they first met. And I just think that's just such a beautiful way to, like, tie this whole thing together. And they nailed it. They just completely nailed it.
And I will maintain again, it is a perfect trilogy, but I'm ready for a fourth. They're already late. I don't think there are any plans to do it, but I would welcome it with open arms.
It would be incredible.
Yeah. All right.
What would they even do with a fourth one? Like, what would they even do? I think I talked with Nick one time about, like,
sick.
One of them gets, like, really sick and they're on their deathbed or something. And it's like the saddest movie of all time.
Not yet. They could do another one and do that. They're too young still.
No, but they jump ahead. It comes out like 20, like.
Yeah.
So what is it, every 9 years? So 18 years, maybe? Like,
Maybe one of them starts showing signs of dementia.
Oh, no. Before sundown?
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
It'd be like the saddest movie of all time.
Everyone's like, what would they call it? I mean, that's a good title if that's what they're going to go with. Yeah. Well.
Well, with that somber note.
Sorry.
Here, I'll pick it up a little bit because with my next pick, I gotta be me. I'm going High School Musical 3, baby. Let's go. I had to take the second one in our last draft. I'm taking the third one now. Listen, you can talk rankings. Again, we're talking about another perfect trilogy.
Disrespect by not calling it by its full name, by the way.
High School Musical 3 senior year. Thank you.
High School
We've got
Musical
the Toy Story 3 themes of leaving high school and moving on to college. I mean, it also gets you in the heartstrings. Yeah, if we're talking rankings, I think I've said that my hot take is kind of that I would rank it 3-2-1, meaning 3 the best, because of that, hitting you in the heartstrings thing. Like, these movies, these were not long drawn out like the before trilogy or anything. They came out, back to back to back, but there is something about like kind of growing with these characters. And yeah, this came out when I was, I don't know, in middle school or so. So the characters were older than me, but just the idea of like graduating from high school, these people who you've built like these super strong connections with, and not knowing like where life's going to take you after that. The romance relationship at the center. It's got great music. I think that this soundtrack is like way underrated compared to the other two. I don't hear it talked about nearly enough. We've got like so many nice duets between Troy and Gabriella. Right Here, Right Now, Can I Have This Dance? The Sharpay song, I Want It All. Fabulous production. Just wonderful. Boys Are Back. Scream in the rotating hallway that Christopher Nolan stole for Inception. We all know it to be true.
They both stole from Paprika.
I know.
But you think Kenny Ortega has seen Paprika?
Probably. He's cultured. He made Hocus Pocus.
That's right. He is cultured.
That's very true. He knows what he's doing. But he knew to put Zac Efron in there, and that was a smart decision from his crazy brain. So I just love this one. I love the series. Gotta be me.
Great series, great pick, wonderful film. Rewatched all 3 of them earlier this year when the first one celebrated its 20th anniversary. I loved these films as a kid. I still think that they're great this many years later. The songs, the production value, the fact that this came to theaters was a humongous deal. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember so well when they announced that High School Musical 3 was coming and that it was going to be in movie theaters, and everyone was like, oh my God. And when it came out, like, it was a madhouse at the theater. It was like the equivalent of watching a Marvel movie, but much, much, much better. And I love the movie, everything Veronica said. And it's crazy, too, when you watch this as you get older, because I was in elementary school when this came out, and I did revisit this one. I remember right when I graduated high school, and it hit so much differently. I was like, oh, they really pulled the punches with this one. And it still holds up. It's incredible. It's so good.
Okay, my hot take is Now or Never, I think, is one of the best openings. It is the best opening in all the High School Musical movies. Like
the opening shot with him sweating, looking at the camera. Like, are you kidding?
Changed my life.
It was talk about being in a movie theater. For that, I was like, oh, what am I about to
They're not playing around.
They're not playing
with the bigger
around.
budget, the better equipment. Just they weren't kidding around.
And I think the best song of the entire trilogy is I Want It All. That musical number it's Broadway level excellence. Like, the production of it, the choreography, the song itself, it just screams Broadway. And I was one of the people who watched Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure, where she actually got to go out to Broadway. But, like, to me, nothing could ever top I Want It All. That is like Broadway excellence in my mind.
Absolutely.
I don't have anything to add, but listening to you guys talk about it has awakened something in me to maybe go back and not only rewatch the first one, but watch the second and third one and other Disney Channel films that I haven't seen. Maybe rewatch some. Luck of the Irish.
Yes.
Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. Good stuff.
Smart
like
House.
Smart House.
Stuck in the Suburbs.
Anybody a fan of the other
Cowbells?
Oh, Cowbells. Oh my God.
The Other Me, also a good one. Underrated.
The Other Me isn't on Disney. I'm like, how am I going to watch this?
What?
I've looked. I feel like it was one that I loved. But I guess
Zetus Lapidus.
We need the 4K release.
We need to do a
One
decom
day.
draft.
Yes. Oh my gosh, bring us back for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would
I'll have
actually be a
to-
really fun draft.
I'll have to do some deep research for that one.
So would I.
Yeah,
I
I'd
would
have
have
to
to
brush up.
rewatch a whole bunch of stuff. It'll be the most I've ever been on Disney Plus.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, so we're back to me. For my next pick, I will go with. I think I'm gonna go with The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly,
Cool.
which admittedly I haven't seen in years. It's been so long since I've seen this film. Westerns aren't my favorite, to be honest. It's not one of my favorite genres. But when I do see a Western that I love, I will champion it. And this really is a kick-ass movie. It's crazy that it's 60 years old, celebrating its anniversary this year. Sergio Leone, there was nobody like him. Clint Eastwood, just one of the greats. What is there to say about the man? I was planning on revisiting this right before this draft, but so much has been going on that I wasn't able to get around to it. But I definitely will be revisiting this as soon as possible because I remember that when I first watched it so many years ago, I loved it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I didn't want it to end. It breezed by for me. Like almost 3 hours of it felt so earned. And yeah, it's just it's so good. The music, the duels, all of it. It's just that is an example of how to make a kick-ass Western, and they really did it with that film. So The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly will be my next pick.
Good pick. I, like you, have not seen it in a long time. And I remember watching the trilogy. It was like my first real insertion into like spaghetti Western ADR and just not really understanding what I was watching with them. Oh, they speak their actual language, but then they ADR after. But it's wonderful. Arrow Video just put out the trilogy on 4K, so I have a reason to check it out again soon.
Veronica, how about you?
This is a blind spot for me. I've had it on the list for forever, but yeah, like you, Brian, I don't gravitate towards westerns all that much. But obviously I know this is a classic, so it's been on my list. But yeah, sounds good. I'll definitely check it out.
Meredith?
Retweet. I have not seen this movie. It is a blind spot in my. I'm not even a real film fan, guys. Like I don't even like movies.
You're a
you know.
fraud.
There are
I
so many
only
films,
like.
you can't watch them all.
I know. I like westerns just when there's an aging Wolverine in it.
Neo.
I know I need to see
Neo-Western.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's iconic. It is a blind spot, and I will get to it eventually. I do think I have seen most of A Fistful of Dollars, so that has to count for something.
It does.
Good enough. Good enough. Okay, Nick, back to you. I'm curious where you're gonna go because I did almost draft a certain film from a certain franchise, but then I'm like, I know that Nick is gonna want it and everything, so
I'm curious
gonna let him have
because
it.
from here on, well, actually, what I'm going to go with next, I do love, but there's a lot of stuff that I like. So I'm curious what you think it would be. But I am going to go with, I don't think this is cheating, but I'm going to go with the third film in the Daniel Craig Bond films.
Oh.
Skyfall.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you about Skyfall. This was my reintroduction to Bond. It was the first Daniel Craig Bond I saw. So I skipped the monumentous Casino Royale. I didn't see Quantum of Solace. So jumping back in at this point, I couldn't believe what I was watching. Like this, again, going back to like Logan, this is grounded Bond. It's gritty. It's politically charged. There's stakes to it. The theme song is one of the best in the whole franchise. Adele sang the shit out of that song, and I sing the shit out of that song to this day. But I think it's just a wonderful piece of the Bond puzzle. And I think that I'm going to talk about spoilers. I think that the idea to kill M was ballsy. I think that the introduction of new Q, new M, I guess, new M, and everything. It was really weird going from being a fan of the Pierce Brosnan ones and being so familiar with those characters with Judi Dench as M, to where it felt bittersweet to see a new M. Like it meant something to me, and I think that the final showdown is spectacular, and it's, I think, not that it matters, not that anybody cares, I think it's my second favorite Bond film in the franchise altogether. It's about as good as it gets. Sam Mendes he rules. I think another thing too that is important about Skyfall is when it came out was around the time I was really jumping into physical collecting. Like, this set right here is all the Bond films up until Quantum of Solace, but there's a open spot in it for Skyfall. So I think it's important in that way to me. And yeah, it's just great. It's pretty good. It's just great.
I haven't seen a lot of Bond films. Admittedly, this is a franchise that I have a lot more blind spots with, but I like most of the ones I've seen, and Skyfall is absolutely up there. There's a reason why it's regarded as one of the best of the entire series. There's a reason why it's regarded as one of the best action films of the past 15 to 20 years, maybe even of the century, quite frankly. And it's really incredible what Sam Mendes was able to do with it, because, you know, you wouldn't have pictured Sam Mendes as the kind of guy to direct a James Bond film, something with such big spectacle and action set pieces, and he did a flawless job bringing this to life. And Craig is incredible. Judi Dench is amazing. Javier Bardem, one of the best villain turns. As if, like, we already got a masterful villain turn from him in No Country for Old Men, and then we get that again with this, and it's like, the dude is just one of our great living actors. So yeah, Skyfall is great. I haven't seen it in so long, but I definitely need to revisit it. I don't know why there's a moment in the movie that makes me kind of subtly chuckle. It's when Bond comes back. He's like, 007 report for duty. Where the hell have you been? Enjoying death.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just love that moment so much. But yeah, it's a great pick.
He's a great Bond.
He's a wonderful actor in general. He's just so good. And the fact that he, not to, go off topic or anything, but the fact that he did Bond, the Knives Out, then went back to Bond, then went back to Knives Out, seamless. It's impressive what he was able to do. And also incorporate Logan Lucky into that spin as well.
I do think oh, there's an echo. Sorry. I do think that Daniel Craig, I prefer him as Benoit Blanc, but his Bond is so excellent, especially... Why am I so echoey? I'm sorry, guys. I have my echo thing off.
You're good. There's no echo.
Great. I don't hear anything.
You can cut all that out. Okay.
Or I'm going to leave it in for comedy.
For just comedy purposes. So, I do prefer Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc, but I love Casino Royale. I think he is an excellent Bond, and Skyfall is truly exceptional, though my love for Skyfall mainly comes from the Adele theme, because I love Adele so much.
The Oscar-winning Adele theme.
That's right. Don't you forget it. My gosh, that song, there have been so many great Bond themes over the years, but to me, I think her song just transcends it all, in my humble opinion. So that's where more of my love for Skyfall comes from. I love you, Adele.
It's one of those songs that honestly is great in the context of the movie, but then on its own, it's also a really excellent song.
Yeah.
Too.
I think the only Bond I have seen is Casino Royale, so I know that Skyfall is considered a highlight of the Daniel Craig era. Yeah, and I also love the song, so not surprised. The movie's great too.
Yeah, it was kind of a reinvention after a reinvention with Casino Royale. It's an interesting trajectory.
All right.
All right,
That was
Meredith,
next pick.
we're
Moving
back
on
to you.
Meredith.
You get to put 2 films on the board.
I think for this, it's going to be kind of like how Veronica did it, of like an objectively really excellent third movie, and then 4 just my personal love of it. So to kick things off, I know people feel a lot of things about this franchise, mainly because of the person who created it.
This is what I
However-
thought Nick was going to draft.
Say it, sister.
But you cannot deny that the best movie of the Harry Potter franchise is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Like,
Yep.
what are we doing? HBO is about to do this. Is about to reboot Harry Potter as a TV series, but I think outside of the J.K. Rowling of it all, the Harry Potter film franchise is a miracle. The fact that these movies just kept getting better, one after the next after the next. And as I alluded to at the beginning of this draft, I think a great threequel is able to elevate what's been done before and then make some stylistic changes and risk. And that's what you get with Alfonso Cuarón turning this particular chapter stylistically different. It is darker. It is the one movie without Voldemort not even having a presence in this movie, and just the way that he is able to capture this like period in Harry's life is so well done. It also features the punch heard around the world, Hermione punching Draco Malfoy in the face, which is exceptional.
Not
you also
good.
get
In the face.
Brilliant.
It's not just good but brilliant. You also get the time turner. You also get the just moving scene of the Hippogriff ride. You have the Marauders and just how that opens up the world of Hogwarts. You also get, this is also a pivotal point because Michael Gambon takes over from Richard Harris as Dumbledore, and Michael Gambon plays with the mysterious dark side of Dumbledore from the gate, and it is so well done. Like, yes, I love Richard Harris. He is physically how I've always imagined Albus Dumbledore to be, but Michael Gambon like gets the character of Dumbledore as we move forward, and especially what we learn about him in the books. Like, I just think he captured that so perfectly. Man, I could just go on and on about Prisoner of Azkaban, from the score, from the production design, from the creatures, from even just like how the uniforms even change. Also, we get the introduction of Hogsmeade and how that opens up the world as well, and even the night bus, which is so chaotic and crazy. I absolutely love that sequence. And Aunt Marge blowing up, like, that is such a pivotal moment for Harry, of just seeing like his magic unchecked, and to have this happen and Cornelius Fudge being totally fine with his aunt being blown up in Prisoner of Azkaban, and then 2 movies later, over the smallest infraction, he's like, you're expelled from Hogwarts. Like, oh gosh, it's so good. Anyways, yeah, I
Bought and paid for
will
politician.
always love what the franchise has done for me. Like, Harry Potter is always going to mean something to me. It looks differently than how it was before, but Prisoner of Azkaban changed everything for me. I was already a fan of the books, but this of the movies and how they handled the Dementors and the Patronus scene at the end, like, this to me felt cinematic for the first time in Harry Potter, and then it only got better from there.
Well, you brought up the introduction of everything, but like the Dementors, Sirius Black, Remus
Sirius
Lupin,
Black!
like, there's so much
Peter Pettigrew.
in Peter Pettigrew, so much here.
Remus.
The Marauders map, like, Everything.
Everything.
He was their friend.
And he betrayed them.
I hope he finds me, because when he does, I'm gonna be ready. When he does, I'm gonna kill him.
Kill him.
Yeah, sure, pal.
Gosh.
You're like 13.
Oh my god.
No, but I sorry to piggyback off of you, but I think too the experimentation of bringing in a director like Alfonso Cuarón and just totally changing the vibe, the tone, the directorial style. I think it. Look, I'm a Chris Columbus fan. I like the stuff that he does, but I think that the changing of the director was it spiced it up a little bit.
Yeah, the Quran coming in was, something that really enhanced the franchise even further, and it amazes me truly that, when you look at his array of work, and he has, many like gems under his belt with like Itumama, Tampien, Children of Men.
He just
Roma.
came off of making a sex film. And they're like, you're perfect for Harry Potter.
And then they're like, oh, yeah, let's give him the rights, the wings to direct the new Harry Potter. But genuinely, he's had this wonderful presence throughout all of his films. And the fact that, like, you would think that someone coming into a franchise, that their style would be snatched away and, like, he would have to kind of copy what the previous two films did. He added his own style to it, which I really appreciate, while staying true to the material. And I always debate back and forth if this is my favorite Potter film or Deathly Hallows Part 2. I could say that this is maybe the best of the franchise, but it's tough. I love all 8 of them. I have a Harry Potter sleeve on my arm. I love this franchise. It's unfortunate that the creator of the franchise is the terrible person that she is. But like Meredith said, I will always love Harry Potter. These films meant a lot to me growing up. They still mean the absolute world to me. And they never get old. I watch all of them at least once a year, and there's so much to love about them. And this one in particular, there's so much to appreciate about them as well. And, I don't really know what to say, because if I say any more, we're going to be here for 5 hours talking about Prisoner of Azkaban. I mean, what is wrong with that? But we have many other films to draft.
Yeah, I'll echo what you all said, and you all said it beautifully. This is definitively my favorite. I was a big Hermione girl. This is, I love that she's got the time turner. She's got the punch in this one. I love David Thewlis as Lupin. Like, I just remember being so, like, obsessed. I don't know. I just loved his presence in this one, and the whole entire storyline with Sirius Black and Pettigrew and everything. This was kind of it was like my favorite when I read the book originally. It was my favorite when it came out, and I fell off the later movies a little bit. I saw them, but I was not as, like, obsessed as I was with, like, the first 4 or so. But 3 has just always been my favorite and stayed that way.
I just remember watching the DVDs of these and falling asleep and always waking up to the title menu. Hey, take it away, honey! It's gonna be a bumpy ride!
So loud.
So loud, so
repetitive. What about Muggles? Muggles!
But I could just never get up to go turn it off.
Oh god, so good. Just incredible stuff. And, like, I just want to bring back a funny moment when Ron is in the hospital and Dumbledore, like, slams his hand on his knee.
I do think Rupert Grint is one of the most underrated actor from the Harry Potter franchise. The way that his face acting is
oh my god, when he emotes fear,
art.
It's brilliant.
Oh,
like
so
during
good.
the whole sequence where they're doing the ridiculous thing and then him looking at the spider,
yes.
he's crying. I just love it so much.
Can we panic now?
Here, have some chocolate. It'll make you feel better.
Oh my god. That Dementor scene on the train is fucking terrifying. That shit is fucking scary still to this day.
Yeah, Dementors messed me up for a little bit.
Yeah, just like...
I think someone's coming on board.
Just the way
that...
the way the camera floats and just follows. That, like, you're in the hands of an artist.
It's brilliant. Bloody brilliant.
Bloody brilliant.
All right. Meredith, what is going to be your next pick?
All right. This might be a little bit of a curveball, but once I researched, wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything, but I saw this on a Threequel list and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to take this. This is arguably the funniest Christmas movie ever made.
Oh!
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh. I know,
Great
when I
pick.
saw that too, I was like, ooh, okay, I'll take that.
I know. I was like, oh, let me just snag that real quick. Admittedly, I did not grow up watching Christmas Vacation, probably because of the adult humor, that there's just so much in it. I didn't watch it until I was either a senior in high school or just started college. And now I feel like I'm making up for lost time because it's one of the few Christmas movies I try and watch every single year. Chevy Chase is a horrible person, but my goodness, is
Certified
so-
scumbag.
Certified scumbag. He is hilarious in this movie. Also, Randy Quaid definitely sucks. He is hilarious in this movie. Every time he shows up, like, the movie shifts into a new gear of hilarity and chicanery. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, pre-Elaine Bennis, is doing Christmas Vacation. She is hilarious, like, and just the utter disdain that she has for the Griswolds next door to her.
Why is the
I
carpet
think the Christmas
wet,
Eve,
Todd?
once it hits Christmas Eve, like, everything that could go wrong does go wrong, and it is hilarious every single time. I am in stitches over the squirrel and the Christmas tree. I lose it over the Christmas tree going on fire. The Christmas turkey, once it's cut open, it's just disintegrated on the inside.
Disgusting.
It is the Christmas kidnapping that happened. Honestly, like, it has no right to be as funny as it is, and yet it kills me every single time. And the fact that this is the third Vacation movie, I was like, this should have been the only Vacation movie because I think it's perfect.
Yeah, I definitely this was on my short list draft because I generally I pretty much love this series. I wanted to talk about it last time, but European Vacation is probably my least favorite. So yeah, Christmas is a great one to talk about. I think that you're right. Chevy Chase sucks as a person, but like so does Clark Griswold. He's like, he's trying so hard, but he is just literally fucking everything up and constantly, not seeing the forest through the trees. So obsessed with having the perfect Christmas that he absolutely ruins every last thing. But it's just so fantastic to watch. I love Beverly D'Angelo in this series. She's like, it's a part that could just be like the wife in the comedy who's got to like roll her eyes at her ridiculous husband, but she's so funny. She's got so much of her own spark and personality. And yeah, I just think that she kills it. I like that this one has the grandparents in it with like Diane Ladd and Doris Roberts and John Randolph, and so there's just adds so much dimension. The like speech, the monologue, the rant that he goes on with when he finds out he's not getting his bonus check from his boss, ending with "Merry Christmas, holy shit," and he just like looks like he's gonna pass out. Like that is just that's like probably where's that? Honey, where's the Tylenol? Yeah, that's like best Chevy Chase moment on film probably for me. So yeah, this was pretty much a Christmas classic in my family. Probably watched it way too young, but just it goes over your head if you're young enough. Who cares? It's fine.
Yeah, I'm with Meredith. I came to this very late. Probably didn't see it until my 20s, but the fact that I was able to jump into it and just love the humor says a lot. I mean, I watch it every year. It's not a try, it's a do, and it's one of my favorite Christmas films ever. I do love the first one, but I've never felt an inkling to watch the second or the fourth. I think these two are the ones that I'll stick with, but there's just something about Christmas Vacation, starting off with the music. Christmas time is here. It gets you in the mood, and it's wonderful.
This is admittedly a Christmas movie that I don't frequent to as much as I think I should. I do like Christmas Vacation, but when I think of the Christmas movies that I tend to watch over and over again, this isn't one of them. However, I firmly believe that this Christmas will finally be the time where I hopefully am on the same train as you guys, because I do like the movie. There's just other Christmas comedies that I prefer over this. But it is arguably the second best of the. I don't know. We don't have time to list all those movies, but
Christmas draft now.
The blessing.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Now I need to watch this again. Like now it's July, Christmas in July.
Christmas
so what
in
better
July,
time to watch
time.
it? But it's a great pick though. It's great. It's a very funny Christmas movie, and Chevy Chase is a fucking piece of shit, but he is so fucking funny in these movies. Like he is truly unbelievable in these films. So yeah, that's an awesome pick.
Shout out to the attic scene when he gets trapped up there and
Yes!
starts watching home videos. And it's very like it's got that like, sweet Christmas nostalgia kind of thing. And he's like it gets tears streaming down his face, and then the button of him, opening the door and falling through the floor. Incredible.
Failed to mention young Johnny Galecki and Juliette Lewis too.
Yes.
Yeah.
The kiddies.
Oh my god, yeah, Johnny Galecki.
So funny that they just traded out the kids for every movie. That's like such a funny bit.
Yeah,
to me.
it's just like a ridiculous joke. Okay.
All right, next pick up next.
Is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
This is where it gets tough. There are a lot of things I could pick. There's a lot of directions I could go. But I think what I'm going to do is go for another franchise that I really like. And I'm going to pick Mission Impossible 3.
Good pick.
Now,
I was really hoping that would be saved to later in the tail end of the draft, but alas.
yeah, there's a couple other things I could have gone with, but I think this one's... I think it's objectively quality, as opposed to the one that came before it, Mission Impossible 2. Again, total different vibe, different director. Philip Seymour Hoffman just gives an unhinged, wonderful performance. He is so good in this. The action is excellent. Michelle Monaghan is lovely. And Tom Cruise is just Tom Cruise. I mean, you can say a lot of things about him, but one thing that you can also say about him is that he is single-handedly saving film. Maybe that's a little too much, but he's a hard guy to like.
Champion. He's a champion
of it. It's there's an internal struggle of enjoying this guy in his films, but Mission Impossible 3, just like Skyfall, took a franchise that was kind of in a low place and just revitalized it, and then I think we just got better and better after it. And I think if anything, it can say that it's just good.
This is crazy to me that this was J.J. Abrams' directorial debut. Like, it's absolutely wild that his first foray into feature filmmaking was this. I cannot believe that is the case, quite frankly.
How did that happen?
It's wonderful. I don't even know. I think, like, he was doing TV at that time. He was doing Alias and Lost, and then they're like, oh, let's give you the reins to direct Mission Impossible. And honestly, it's one of the best of the franchise. But honestly, every film in this franchise except for the second one is good. So, yeah, like Nick said, this was a good way to kind of get people back into the franchise and do something special with it. And then it just got better and better as it went along. Philip Seymour Hoffman, I think, is the best villain in this entire franchise. He is unbelievable in this. So terrifying. This was the role that he chose to do after winning an Oscar. And I think that is so fucking sick that he did that. And yeah, I rewatched all these movies just a few years ago, right before, not Final Reckoning, I think right before Dead Reckoning. And they're all very fun. And Yeah, I really like the third one quite a bit. A lot of memorable set pieces. I feel like it's an underrated entry in the franchise. And yeah, it's very good. It's really, really good.
So I think it was before Fallout was coming out that I was going to try and marathon these movies for the first time because admittedly I had not seen any of the Mission Impossible movies. I made it to 2 and I was like, I think I'm good. I don't know if I can keep going. And yet every time I say that, someone will say, but it gets so good at 3. You don't understand. Like, you have to watch 3. And to this day, I know I need to. It just hasn't happened yet because there's another franchise that took my love and attention that I hopefully will get to talk about on this draft. So leave it at that. But
The Croods?
I do know I need to watch Mission Impossible 3, so I will get there, I promise.
I'm also not a big Mission Impossible girly. Yeah, I'm happy we're getting into an era of Tom Cruise like not doing just the action hero thing with Digger this year. But maybe in this year of Tom Cruise, maybe I should just go back and catch up on all the Mission Impossibles. But yeah, not a huge series for me. I have for sure seen clips of like scenes with Philip Seymour Hoffman in this, and like he's electric, and he and Tom Cruise seem to play off of each other really well. So yeah, I know that this is a pretty beloved one that I will catch up on at some point.
Nice.
Okay. Back to me.
This is where things are going to get interesting.
Okay, let's see. So I have 2 trilogy conclusions. I think I'm gonna do another one. Okay, for my next pick, I am going to put on the table War for the Planet of the Apes.
Fuck!
Nice.
I knew it!
You son of a bitch!
You took I had Toy Story 2 and Dawn for the Planet of the Apes, and then you took those from me this time. And if you win this time,
sick.
I know it's rigged.
We already
Ape no
know
steals
it's
from
rigged.
Ape.
That's true.
Oh my god. I'm so bummed that Meredith's camera isn't working because her reaction just now was so funny.
I saw it just fine.
So, we talked about this trilogy when we did the last draft, when we did the sequels draft and everything. This is such a good trilogy. It has no right being as good as it is. I do believe that this is the best of the trilogy, although Dawn is like neck and neck for me. They are both perfect films. What I really loved so much about War was that it wasn't so much about an external war. It was so much focused on the eternal war that was going on within these apes. I remember watching the movie not expecting that at all. I was just expecting your typical run-of-the-mill blockbuster that had some emotional moments, that had some stakes, but was so focused on the spectacle, the scope of it all, and it was way more than that. And to me, this was a perfect way to wrap up Caesar's story. I really enjoyed what we got after this with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I do wish that this had been the legit end of the story, kind of similar to how I felt with Toy Story 3, but I was really impressed with the direction that they continued this story with. And I think that all around, the imagery, the visuals, the acting, everything here is spectacular. Michael Giacchino's score, Matt Reeves' direction, the motion capture, we've said it from the very beginning. I don't know how they were able to pull this off. I legit thought I was watching apes running around. It's so convincing. Andy Serkis, you're the fucking G. You're the best at what you do. Woody Harrelson, phenomenal fill-in performance from him. It truly lights out work where it might actually be like up there. Like it might be a top 3 Woody Harrelson performance for me. It's so good. Everything about this movie is great. I love the whole setting of it. A lot of it being in like the snow. I really liked that. And then the sequence with the waterfall and everything after what happens to Caesar's family. It's remarkable. And admittedly, it's been a long time since I've seen this one. I think, to be honest, I think I've only seen this movie once. I haven't seen it since it came out, and I remember being floored when it came out. I think it was in my top 10 of that year of 2017. And yeah, I just think that this trilogy is so good, and this final one, oh my god, chef's kiss, brilliant, 10 out of 10, no notes. So that's going to be my next pick.
So, okay, I had the thought of turning my draft into kind of a 2017 Threequel Draft because I watched War for the Planet of the Apes and I was like, oh, just like Logan, Caesar dies at the end and he goes on this internal mission for the family that he has left, and it leaves you emotionally wrecked as it does. You have great villains. I'm like, bring it on. I just want all of these. So, yeah, I just echo what you say. Basically, I adore War for the Planet of the Apes. I love that as big as Dawn got, the decision to scale back, make this another road movie, another character study with a fantastic villain in Woody Harrelson. Academy, you did my guy dirty because Andy Serkis deserved an Oscar nomination for this performance in particular. I'm not kidding. Also, Maurice is one of my favorite apes in this Caesar trilogy, and the fact that Maurice got to speak by the end, I was like crying over it.
Oh my
it
god.
Just
love that guy
me
so
because
much.
Maurice has been there for Caesar since the beginning when he was put into captivity in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. So that was just so satisfying to me to see not only Caesar have this incredible arc, but Maurice have that as well. I love Kingdom for the Planet of the Apes. I have been all in on these Apes movies since Rise. So for them to end this Caesar trilogy as perfectly and poignantly as they did, and I love the way that they open up Kingdom for the Planet of the Apes. It's basically like 10 minutes later at the end of War for the Planet of the Apes, so that like satisfied me going into this hopefully new trilogy, which they're working on the next sequel, but it might not have some of the same characters, and I have lots of feelings about it, but I also like this team. That's my weird tangent, but curse you, Bryan, for taking this away from me.
Have you finally come to save your apes? I came for you.
Oh, so good. So good!
For
Can we
me,
talk about Steve
my
Zahn
God,
as
look at
bad
your
ape,
eyes.
too?
Almost human.
God. Can we talk
Nick,
about
go
Steve
ahead.
Zahn
What were you
as bad
saying?
ape?
Oh, Bad Ape!
Steve's-
Yes!
So funny.
Steve Zahn. He's involved with two of the most legendary trilogies. This trilogy and the Diary of a Wimpy Kid
The
trilogy.
Diary of a Wimpy
That's all
Kid.
I'll say about that. Veronica?
No.
Got to feed the Roderick stands.
That guy from Oppenheimer?
Yeah, for me, I have raved about the other two movies. Dawn on the direct sequels draft, Rise, I think on the 2011 one. I drafted it there. I absolutely love this series. I remember when War came out, I was like slightly disappointed because the other two are just like near masterpieces for me, and this one was a little more like almost kind of a more traditional war movie. And very, very action heavy, very very bleak. And I kind of liked the more like morality play feel of the other two. But when Kingdom was coming out, I rewatched the whole trilogy, and this totally rose in my estimation. This was like, it's still, slightly under the first two for me, but it is a fantastic conclusion, and it is bleak, and it is, there was more to the whole, Woody Harrelson aspect of it than I had remembered from originally seeing it in theaters. So yeah, it's probably my least favorite of the trilogy, but it's not a very steep drop off. It's still a really, really solid ending to Caesar's story. And yeah, I love Kingdom too. I liked how that was continuing, and I don't know where we're going from here. I mean, I'll watch it no matter what, but I would like a continuation of that story.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, my two picks coming up next. All right, I went with personal favorites for the first two. I think it's time to dip into some of the big franchises. So I'll go ahead and take a pretty big one off the board. I'm going to go ahead and draft Avengers Infinity War. Ever heard of it?
Ah!
You can take it.
I'm not a huge Marvel person now in its current iteration, but I was definitely along for the ride throughout like most of the 2010s. You know, I kept up with all the movies. You know, was never a comic book person, but I like filled myself in on the lore and whatnot. And I mean, I just think that Infinity War, you know, regardless of if you're interested in the MCU or not, is just like kind of a cinematic achievement that you can't really deny. The fact that they took, you know, they serialized storytelling from the past 12 years, you know, had solo movies and team up movies and all of this stuff, and took everything. I mean, took, you know, 30 plus characters that could have and had already led their own movies and combined them. And I mean, they're pretty damn successful at making, you know, an entertaining movie, a thrilling one. I prefer this to Endgame because I'm fucked up and I like that it ends on a fucked up note. And like, and you know, obviously we knew it was not gonna remain that fucked up, but even so, I just think that you know, audience is leaving the theater with that last visual in their mind. You know, spoiler alert, I think, for like the most popular movie in the history of movies, but the idea of half of the cast like fading away into dust, and you know, the Spider-Man Tony Stark moment. I mean, just it decides to go there, and as a capper to, you know, something that had been over a decade in the making. Yeah, I just think it's like wildly successful, wildly entertaining, 4-quadrant cinema entertainment that is yeah, just a giant achievement that is pretty undeniable.
Looks like Meredith has a lot to say.
I have a lot to say, but I will try and be as concise as possible. I love the MCU. I'm still in the MCU. Mileage may vary how you feel about it right now, but Infinity War was one of those, it's a top 5 cinema experience for me, being in the theater that opening night as the characters turned into dust. The audible gasp that happened, I still think about. It was one of those great high water parts of the experience, and ending on such a dour note. But at the same time, the movie prior, like up until that point, was still really good too. This is the first time that we had Guardians of the Galaxy getting connected, the Wakandans getting involved, the Avengers had broken up and how they're separated for the majority of this movie. I love the way that they paced all of this and how they grouped different heroes together. I thought the Russo brothers really balanced it well. I felt like I got so much out of these characters I love, and they all had very poignant moments. You can't tell me that the scene between Gamora and Nebula, when Gamora gives up the location of the Soul Stone, doesn't break you up, considering where those two sisters had been at that point, and her willingness to honestly sacrifice herself for her sister. And then we see a similar sacrifice in the next movie, which is not part of this. But then you also have like the ramifications that have happened from Civil War taking place, with Tony and Steve being on opposite ends. This is the bit we finally get Wanda and Vision together, and then they're totally broken apart, which is what gives the emotional weight to WandaVision later down the road, which I think is a perfect Marvel show. My gosh, I for everybody who counts out the Russo brothers, which you can, that's fine. It's hard for me to count them out for Doomsday because they have Infinity War, because they had this movie in their back pocket. It was a landmark achievement, and I love it. I love Infinity War so much.
Yeah, I love Infinity War as well. It's definitely up there amongst my favorite in the MCU. And I, like you, I remember so vividly going to the theater to watch this opening night with my friends and experiencing that ending. And we were all just like, what the hell is going on? Like, the fact that they're actually doing something like this, even though we all knew that they were going to come back. But the fact that they even had the gall to end on a very dour note was very ballsy. And I really commend them for doing something like this. And we haven't even talked about Josh Brolin as Thanos.
Nope. Not even that.
You could say whatever you want about the movie. You could say whatever you want about the MCU. And yes, you could say that, sure, he may look like a thumb. But it's such an effective turn. It's a really beautiful performance from him, and the motion capture that is utilized throughout, like he's able to add so much gravitas through his face and through his eyes, and that sequence where we see what happens to Gamora, and just the close-up on Thanos' face is so effective that even for me, someone who isn't sympathizing with this guy, to see that side of him was so beautifully handled. I was so impressed with that. And like with most of these MCU movies, yeah, you can make a comment about how the comedy doesn't always stick the landing. And sure, there are some comedic moments that in this that don't fully work for me, but a lot of them actually do. The whole sequence where Thor and the Guardians meet. Who is this dude? He is not a dude. You're a dude.
He's a god.
This is a man. A handsome man. A very muscular man. I'm muscular. Who are you kidding, Quill? You're one sandwich away from fat.
Drax is a 10 out of 10 character for me, and him reacting to Thor is one of the major highlights of that
There's
movie.
just many things that he does throughout this entire franchise that make me laugh, but like the sequence where they encounter Thanos and he's just like, Thanos! It's just so good. It's so good. Infinity War is great.
The fact that
Also,
Thanos is
just
like
very-
synonymous with like the big bad of a series, like, oh, they're gonna, this is a Thanos level threat. Like other franchises have it's just the most successful example of like building up a big bad and like delivering on it.
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, honestly, Infinity War is Thanos' movie. He is the protagonist. We start
He has
with
the most
him.
screen time.
He has the most screen time. He is on a mission to get the Infinity Stones, and every other hero is in his way. He accomplishes everything that he sets out to do. He is the protagonist of this movie.
Nick?
Anything?
Pass. I will pass.
Fair enough. Let me take my other pick. I could dip back into Marvel. There are some pretty good options on the board, but I think I'll head for another franchise. I'm going to go ahead and take, you know what? I have the high ground now. I'm going to take Revenge of the Sith.
Fuck!
Excellent pick. Excellent.
And Brian crash out trigger. There we go. Okay. Yeah, we talked about a little bit about this on the Star Wars draft. I don't think it's come up too much outside of that, but prequels, a little bit dicey of a trilogy. Definitely ended on both the high ground and a high note, because I think this is just obviously the best one. When I was a kid watching this, like the hype for it was out of control. My sister dressed as Darth Vader. We went to the movie theater. She had a cute little ponytail sticking out the back. It was very adorable. Star Wars was something that had always been around for me, and this one being like, this grand conclusion. I don't know that I like fully comprehended that at the time, or had the critical skills to assess the movies in that way, but I just knew it was like a giant moment. And for the faults of Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, I think that Revenge of the Sith, it stands pretty well on its own. It still has a lot of the goofy stuff in it, but it's an effective, origin story for Darth Vader, for one of the biggest, for a Thanos level villain of all time. So yeah, I think that Ewan McGregor is killing it in this. Hayden Christensen, Natalie Portman, they're doing their best. But I think there's enough of a story there. It's got enough of an arc. Just the way that everything unfolds, pretty rapidly and pretty intensely. Like I think it gets there in the end. Like there are definitely some really high highs in this. So this was definitely a big one for me growing up, and I think that it's been able to age well, even as Star Wars has its ups and downs.
This is where the fun begins.
Absolutely.
Great film. All-timer film, all-time theater experience. Remember going with my parents when I was a kid to watch this, and there was this very euphoric feeling because everyone thought that this was the last time that we were ever going to see a Star Wars movie. And people like to dog on the prequels, sure, whatever. They have their flaws, absolutely. This film is great. I think it's aged really well for me. It's not top 2 Star Wars for me, but it's honestly very high up in my Star Wars ranking. We did our Star Wars collaborative draft when Mandalorian and Grogu came out, and we all championed this. Me, Veronica, and our guest Athena. We like really go hard for this movie, and rightfully so. It's fantastic.
I don't have a lot to say, but I think it is the best in that new trilogy, which may not be saying a whole lot, but it's fun.
Yeah, I went back to see Revenge of the Sith when it was re-released in theaters, and I had to apologize to my friend with me because I was like, oh no, I could just quote this entire movie without fail. Like, I was like whispering lines. She's like, oh my gosh, are you going to do that the whole movie? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know it had imprinted on me like this because, like, me and the prequels, I have, like, a weird relationship with them because my very first Star Wars movie is Phantom Menace. I will always have a soft spot for that movie despite how objectively it's not a great movie, but I love Qui-Gon Jinn so much. But Revenge of the Sith is the best prequel movie, hands down. If Rogue One could count, that is actually the best prequel movie. Just throwing that out there. But of the prequel trilogy, Revenge of the Sith has it all. It is very dark, and it sucks that they only made it in this movie about the breakdown of this friendship between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, because that should have been central to this trilogy to make that final battle on Mustafar matter even more. But it still gets me every time. You were the chosen one. You're not supposed to join them. Oh my gosh, all of it. And then even the like, this is how liberty dies with thunderous applause. Just like so many lines from Revenge of the Sith have aged very well for positive and negative reasons in the world. But like George Lucas, he is, for every problem I have with the prequel trilogy and his over-reliance on technology, there are more nuggets of his creativity in this movie that I think is worth applauding still to this day.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out General Grievous too. He's cool.
Oh, so cool.
and Ian McDiarmid as Palpatine.
Yeah.
I
Do it.
am the Senate.
Not yet.
Oh, gosh.
Do it.
Damn it.
Oh my god. Impeccable. Okay, back to me. I'm going to take another franchise that George Lucas is involved with. I'm going to take Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Probably my favorite of the Indiana Jones franchise. Again, similar to, Revenge of the Sith. When this came out, a lot of people thought this was the end for Indiana Jones, and honestly, it should have been, quite frankly. This is not a case like Toy Story where I like the installments that follow this. I don't hate Kingdom of the Crystal Skull like a lot of people do. I think it's fine. Dial of Destiny, I cannot stand. That movie was actually like really terrible for me.
Weird.
It's just like I wanted what James Mangold did with Logan. I wanted him to do that with Indiana Jones, and we couldn't even get that. And I don't even know if it's entirely his fault. I don't know who to blame for that, but that's another discussion for a different time. But Last Crusade, I think, is great because the first two films felt like their own thing, and this follows that same formula of feeling like its own thing while still having the same style of the first two movies. The reason why I think this movie might be the strongest has to really do with the inclusion of Sean Connery as Indy's father. One of my favorite father-son dynamics in cinema. They are so great together. Harrison Ford and Sean Connery together are wonderful. They have a great rapport with each other. There's these wonderful action set pieces, lots of great sequences throughout. The final shot is an all-timer. That's one of the best for sure. And yeah, I just think that these Indiana Jones films, like, Indiana Jones isn't a franchise that I have a huge attachment to. I like the films. I enjoyed them, but I didn't frequently watch them growing up compared to, like, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. It was definitely one of the franchises that from time to time I would check out throughout my life. And I rewatched all of them before Dial of Destiny came out. So it's been a few years since I've seen them. But Last Crusade has always been my favorite, and I think that still to this day it is my favorite for sure. So that's going to be my next film.
Yeah, also my favorite of the series. You just can't beat the father-son dynamic. And I love the cold open, too, with River Phoenix on the train. It's
incredible.
Just masterful, yeah.
Phenomenal.
Please, go ahead, Meredith.
I actually don't have as much to say about Last Crusade because I admittedly Indiana Jones was not a film franchise or a trilogy that I really grew up with nostalgia for. I think I have watched Last Crusade maybe 2 times max. I do love the father-son stuff. I do think Sean Connery is great. I even like Elsa in this as well. I think she is a great antagonist in this movie.
I think she gets a very bad rep. I feel like a lot of people undermine how great of an antagonist she is.
Yeah, I think she is excellent. Yeah, I mean, I hear people frequently say this is their favorite of the trilogy, and I love that for people. I just think I've got if I have nostalgia for Indiana Jones, it's probably Raiders of the Lost Ark, but still, great movie.
No, I'm with you. I can admit that they're quality. They're just not ones that I go back to frequently, and just like you, the first one is my favorite. It's my turn.
All right. Yes, sir. Back to you.
Okay, so we're gonna go a direction I didn't know I was gonna take, but I'm gonna take The Exorcist 3. Which okay, that was better than
okay.
That was better than I
Horror has been
expected.
thrown into the mix here.
Yes. So this is a film I discovered very late. I discovered it actually through Red Letter Media. I don't know if you guys are familiar with their YouTube channel, but they talked about it. I checked it out, and it's awesome. It is a direct sequel to The Exorcist. It is written and directed by William Peter Blatty, who wrote the screenplay and the book for the original, as well as the book for Legion, which it's based off of. And I think it's really interesting seeing him bring his vision to life. It's different. It's hard to really explain what it is, but it's very different. It deals a lot with themes of faith and questioning, is there good in this world? It's very dark. It's grim. It has one of the best jump scares, and it's a film that's not afraid to really take its time and really allow the audience to just feel the dread and to feel the weird vibes. It's just a weird movie, but it's one that I frequently go back to, maybe every other year, and I think it's just super entertaining. George C. Scott gives an amazing performance. He is just a tired detective watching people around him die. Brad Dourif in this movie, one of his best performances, like up there with Chucky as far as being unhinged and just totally eating up scenery. He's incredible in this movie. And I think if you're a fan of The Exorcist and you haven't seen this, I think you really need to check it out because it's a good companion piece.
this is the second film on your draft with Brad Dourif, which is very fascinating, even though Brad Dourif's only in Return of the King for 5 seconds.
True.
Which is so funny.
I didn't even think about that.
I enjoy Brad Dourif on The Pit in season 1 when he showed up there because supporting his daughter.
And his
That's
daughter,
cool.
fantastic Nepo baby. Love her very much. Love Fiona Dourif.
It's not nepotism if you're talented.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. I have never seen Exorcist 3. I love the original, of course. It's one of the most celebrated horror films of all time. I remember when I first became friends with Nick, he frequently talked about Exorcist 3, and I still haven't watched it, but it's definitely one that I'm going to prioritize for sure, especially because, like, George C. Scott is an actor whose films, I haven't seen a lot from him, but everything I've seen, I'm a big fan of. Patton, hardcore, I really like him a lot as an actor,
Hardcore,
so
yeah.
I definitely want to check this out for sure.
I am not a scream queen. I don't do a lot of horror. I probably will not go check this out, but I'm going to take your word for it, Nick.
Totally understandable.
Yeah, I've also only seen the original Exorcist, which it's not a classic for me. I like caught up with it, only a few years ago maybe, but I totally understand why it's a classic. And yeah, I know that the sequels afterwards are, I think this is like a pretty well-liked one. So yeah, totally get it. But yeah, blind spot for me.
If there's somebody out there that listens and is like, oh my God, thank you for talking about this, or somebody can be convinced into watching it, just one person, then it'll be worth it.
I've made a difference.
And then they'll hate it and they'll be like, I'm never listening to this guy again.
All right, Meredith, would you like to make a difference with your next pick?
Oh, man. Okay. Well, admittedly, I do think, Bryan, you may have let me have this, and thank you if that's really the case. If not, okay, whatever. But I'm definitely going action for my next 2 picks. What's the pretense? Captain America Civil War. This was my favorite.
I did let you have this.
Yeah, you did. I knew it. I knew it. Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
You took Toy Story 3 from me.
I felt bad about taking Winter Soldier from you last time. So
exactly. So
What a sweetheart.
okay, Civil War. Prior to Infinity War and Endgame, Civil War was my favorite MCU movie. I still think it is a top 3. Definitely, easily top 5. It's in my top 3 of MCU movies, hands down. You want to talk about a superhero movie that has something to say? Yeah, Civil War does that because it talks about the powers and limitations of being a superhero. Who are your allegiances to? What kind of international domain do you actually have? And what are the stipulations behind that? You want to talk about a serious character movie that has Captain America, Steve Rogers, from when we meet him in First Avenger to Civil War, goes on an entire arc, and everything that he goes through in Winter Soldier comes truly to a head in Civil War, in that he is still that loyal kid from Brooklyn who's always going to advocate for his best friend, Bucky. And that is either speaks volumes of his character, or will always be a detriment to him, which is why it is fascinating that he comes into conflict with Tony Stark, which I think Robert Downey Jr. gives an impeccable performance in this movie in particular. To watch the two of them have such ideological differences and then have just the breakdown of a friendship, and it's done so well. It is practically Avengers 2.5, and this was the movie that proved that the Russo brothers could handle Infinity War and Endgame. This also marked the introduction of both T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman, and Tom Holland's Spider-Man, 2 of the best characters who have come out of the MCU. because Black Panther went on to what they introduced for him laid the groundwork to just blow everything out of the water when we got the Black Panther movie. And then Tom Holland's Spider-Man, we are still living in the after effects of him to this day. Brand New Day is about to come out, and I was really on the fence about putting No Way Home on here because I do think that is an excellent movie, and that will be included in my honorable mentions. If any of you pick it up, I totally respect you for it. But the way that they introduced Tom Holland, this is I said Infinity War was a top 5 movie experience for me. Civil War is probably number 1 or number 2, because the second that Queens popped on screen, I cannot tell you the amount of just buzz in the room of like, we are about to meet Peter Parker. And the song that is playing, Tony showing up in his apartment, it just, everything about it is so perfect. The song selections are great. The breakdown of the two factions and why they're on each side makes absolute sense. The airport hangar scene is a top 5 Marvel action set piece in my mind. It also starts with an incredible open as well on a mission that has incredible visceral action as well. But that final act, that final fight between Tony, Steve, and Bucky is some of the best stuff ever. Every hit lands. It is heartbreaking to watch the breakdown of the two leaders essentially, and the ramifications of that just bleeds into Infinity War and goes into Endgame, and I just adore it. I think it is incredible. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say before I pass it over. Oh my gosh, there's a scene when they're in Berlin and T'Challa like takes Bucky down from the motorcycle, and like I felt that. Like there's so many great action scenes in this movie. Paul Rudd, Ant-Man, a delight. Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye, when he breaks out Wanda, fantastic. Also, the seeds of Wanda and Vision being a couple with the Paprikash scene, chef's kiss. Oh my goodness. Also, Baron Zemo, I gotta give a shout out to Daniel Bruhl, who actually is an underrated villain. The way that he uses his intelligence and just simple movements to break down the empire that is this Avengers core team is nothing short of brilliant. So, okay, I'm done.
How do I follow up that? I have no idea.
Also, I'm still Team Iron Man. I've been ride or die for Tony Stark since day one. I know it's Captain America's movie, but I have, like, the way that Steve has loyalties to Bucky, I'm always going to have loyalty for Tony Stark. Okay, now I'm done.
I really love Civil War. I still like it very much. And yeah, yes, it's Avengers 2.5. But like you said, this showcased that they were capable. They were the right people, the Russo brothers, to helm Infinity War and Endgame. And everything you said, I completely agree. The introduction of Black Panther, the introduction of Spider-Man, all handled very well. But my favorite moment from the movie, and this is a silly moment to bring up, but it's just a moment I always think of because of how much I love Paul Rudd, when Scott is introduced in this movie and he just says, "Thanks for thanking of me." Love it. Just love it.
I love him so much.
All right, always welcome. Yeah, second everything you said, Meredith. You spoke about it beautifully, and yeah, I think even just the moment it was all over the trailers and everything, but just the but he's my friend, and Tony saying so was I. Like even that is just so you get the chills from that. So yeah, it's a great story that, like you said, it's about something, and it's also kind of a really nice culmination of these stories that we've seen built up so far.
I have to be honest, this was after Age of Ultron. This was at the peak of my disdain for Marvel, so I haven't seen it since I saw it in theaters. But I really enjoy that you guys love it. And I'm not being facetious, I'm being serious.
Very diplomatic.
Fair enough. All right, Meredith, what's your next pick?
Okay. You got me really excited about Civil War, which is great. We're keeping things in action. So earlier, it was mentioned that Mission Impossible. I tried to watch the franchise. I stopped at 2. I just couldn't go any further. But there was another franchise that kind of captured my attention around the same time. Family. Fast and Furious. So, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, ladies and gentlemen, is a fantastic
Not the action
movie.
film I thought you were going to go with, but okay.
Okay.
But then I remembered you love this franchise, so.
I do love this franchise. I decided to watch all of these movies before I saw F9, when that was coming out. And I was like, you know what? This is the time. Which, Fast and the Furious, Point Break ripoff. Got it. Too Fast, Too Furious, you're in Miami, cool. Tokyo Drift. Tokyo Drift was the moment that I was like, ooh, okay, there are things happening in this franchise that, like, maybe it's worth sticking around for. So I think it is a bold move that they move away from their primary character, Bryan, to Sean. And picking him up and moving him from Arizona to Tokyo. But it's because of this, we meet one of the best characters in the Fast and Furious franchise, Han, played by Song Kang, who absolutely changes the franchise in the introduction of drifting. He's so effortlessly cool. Justin Lin puts his stamp on the Fast and Furious franchise, just like Alfonso Cuarón does in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. You have the fact that you've got the Yakuza involved in this. It keeps it small, but it's stylish, it's funny, and then it's got the stinger at the end of Vin Diesel. Dom Toretto shows up that he is connected with all of these people. This is... And because of Han, that is why when Deckard Shaw kills him, that we see in, Fast 6, that there has been a call for justice for Han, and when Han is turned out to be alive, everyone was like, oh, finally, we're gonna get this, and then we have barely gotten it, by the way. So if Vin Diesel, if you want to finally finish this franchise, get us to Fast 11 and give us proper justice for Han and not just let Shaw show up at the barbecue at the end. We need this to happen. So yeah, that is, listen, Fast and Furious movies are absolutely ridiculous, but if Christopher Nolan thinks that Tokyo Drift is a perfect action movie, maybe we should listen to him. Maybe there is reasons behind this. So, yeah, go back and watch Tokyo Drift. You'll be happier for it.
That was beautiful. I don't have anything to add. I've only seen one film in the franchise, and it was 7. And but if there's one I would check out, it'd probably be Tokyo Drift.
I like these movies. Admittedly, they've declined for me over the franchise and everything. This one, admittedly, I haven't seen that much. I think I've only seen this once, and I thought it was fine, but it's been a long time since I've seen it, so maybe a rewatch of it will change my perspective on it. My favorite in the franchise is the 5th one. To me, that's the best of the entire series. And we just did our 2011 draft. I didn't get to put that on my team, but that's a really, really great film in the franchise and on its own. But I do like how Tokyo Drift was kind of trying to go for the formula of like creating a new story with different characters and distance themselves from the characters we were introduced to in the first 2. So yeah, it's that's a very fun pick. Again, definitely not the action franchise I thought you were gonna go with initially, but then I'm like, oh wait, that's right. Me and Meredith have had many conversations about this series before, so it makes sense that she put this on our team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Fast and the Furious franchise for me is like superheroes for Nick. I'm like, Not my thing, but I'm very, very happy for you all.
I didn't expect to join the family. Trust me. Like, this is not what I had in mind. But once I cried at the end of Furious 7, there's just no going back.
That's where it should have. That's
Yeah.
where it should have ended. Quite frankly, for me, that's where it should have ended.
Okay, well. We couldn't have gotten Jason Momoa, one of the best villains of this franchise, in the 10th movie, okay?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. You just reminded me about that. I totally forgot about that movie because, one, it's been so long ago, and two, like, where's the next one? Just end it already.
Just give us the last movie, okay? Don't worry about these TV show spinoffs. Just give us the last movie.
Stop being so difficult, Vin Diesel, and just get the movie off the ground.
Just stop.
Why didn't they call it Fasten Your Seatbelts? That's my only contribution here.
For real, though.
Damn.
Okay.
Next pick.
Next is Nick.
Okay, I am going to also continue with action in a way. I'm going to go with Jackass 3D. Sorry, the delay was there again, and I said that, and nobody did anything, so I was like, oh god. This is...
Oh no, there was explosive laughter.
This is arguably my favorite in the franchise. It is clear that the budget was bigger and the stunts were bigger, and it starts out hot with a slow motion action scene. Everything's exploding. Everybody's kicking each other. I don't know. There's something about slow motion action that is just really fucking cool. And when you get the guys from Jackass together doing it, it's delightful. You have wonderful skits like the high five that seems to have been viral during the whole marketing for the new one. Electric Avenue, where they're running through the tasers and everything. The Lamborghini tooth pull, which is just disturbing to watch. And totally fucked up Aaron McGee's face, allegedly. But then you've got Steve-O's poo cocktail in the in the porta potty. And I'm saying these words, and it sounds ridiculous, but I grew up on this franchise. I grew up enjoying it, and I think that adding the novelty of 3D was fun for the time. But it's just a good time getting the band back together, and I still need to check out the new one, but this one's top tier as far as the franchise goes.
I love this franchise so much. I love the show. I love the movies. I very much had a good time with the new one that just came out. And it's been a long time since I've seen the first three. I think I watched all of them before Forever came out a few years ago. And I always love how this movie opened up with Beavis and Butthead just like explaining the juxtaposition, the whole 3D gimmick and everything. It was just so funny.
Yeah.
Good evening, I'm Butthead.
Total like MTV era.
In order to understand the experience, you must put on the glasses that were handed to you in the lobby.
Wow, you remember.
I might have actually just rewatched that clip like a week ago. I love it so much.
Hey, I watch the skits for fun.
It's so fun. It's so fun. I very much enjoy the franchise. Meredith?
So, admittedly, I have not seen a Jackass movie or watched a lot of the show, but every trailer I've seen of the new one and the one previous to that, it looks like a lot of fun. So I love that so much for you, and the fact that Hollywood went through a season where they tried to do 3D for everything, and if Jackass can do it, why not? Why not?
True. Yeah, the newest Jackass, Best and Last, was going to be my first foray into the series. Had never really checked it out before, and I tried to watch. I watched Jackass Forever before that came out because that was the most recent one, and everyone loved that one. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure I'll like this. Reader, I did not like it. It's just not for me. It's definitely something that, like, for sure, if you grew up with it, like, you would click with it way more. It was just, I was like, they're gonna hurt themselves. It's gross, like, that kind of thing. But I can appreciate that they are artists in a way. It's just not really my cup of tea. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that this is a good entry in the series. And I mean, 3D, that I shudder to think what it looks like in 3D for most of the shit that they do. But yeah, glad to hear that this is an enjoyable one.
Isn't there a skit where Steve-O ties a bee to his dick and the bee is flying in 3D at the camera?
I think so. I didn't see this in the theater when it came out, so I would have loved to have watched this in 3D and everything, just out of sheer curiosity.
Yeah,
but
it's also the last one with Ryan Dunn, which makes it, I guess, special in that way.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's my pick.
Okay, this is so funny that we're talking about 3D, because I didn't think that I was going to do this, but I'm also going to put a film that involves 3D on my team. I think Nick is the only person that knows.
I know what it's gonna be.
Oh, you know. Okay, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. My next pick for the draft, a very Harold and Kumar Christmas.
Oh my
gosh! I thought about it.
Wait, Veronica, was that not?
Never mind, I had it wrong. I thought you were going with the Glenn Powell vehicle.
Oh no!
Spike is 3D.
I thought about that one too. I thought about that one too.
No. Okay, so I love this trilogy so much. I love all three of these movies. The first one is the best. Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. That's one of the best. Just like so many quotable lines. Love it so much.
Who the fuck are you, shitwad?
Hey, Randy, what's the devil? What the hell you doing with my wife?
Synchronized on that one. Wow.
So you're just gonna fuck me now or what? Well, since we're all here.
How about a foursome? Who was first reach around?
The first one is great. The second one, Guantanamo Bay. Not as good as the first, but still very enjoyable. This is my second favorite of the trilogy. I watch this every Christmas. I love this movie so much. So you guys talked about Christmas Vacation being the one of the Christmas movies that you frequent to. This I watch every Christmas, and I am not ashamed of it. I love it so much. And I saw this when it came out in the theater in 3D, and I shit you not, it was one of the most exhilarating experiences of my entire life watching a movie. Just seeing the things, all the 3D effects, like various different things. There's a stop motion sequence in the movie, and Kumar whips out his cock, and the cock sticks out, and I'm just like, wow, this is something I never thought I would see in a film. But kudos to them for doing something like this and embracing the 3D gimmick. And they even make self-aware jokes about the 3D. Like, in the beginning of the movie, someone gives Harold a 3D TV, and he's like, I don't know, hasn't the 3D thing jumped the shark? And he's like, no, it's going to be amazing. And his fingers stick out, and Harold's just like, who are you talking to? It's so brilliant. Very fun Christmas movie, super raunchy, very entertaining, very sincere. John Cho and Kal Penn, their dynamic throughout this entire trilogy is wonderful. I love them so much. I know that they're trying to get a fourth one off the ground. I'd be interested to see what direction they go with that this many years after our last entry. But yeah, I have a huge soft spot for these films. I love them all very, very much. And I think that it was going to be a fun choice to add this to my team because, again, there's just something very fun about adding a 3D Christmas movie to a team that consists of Toy Story, Good, Bad, and the Ugly, War for the Planet of the Apes, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So a very Harold and Kumar Christmas is going to be my next pick. I want to go to Nick first because I know that Nick has seen the films in this series, so I would love to get his stance on this one.
It's not a repeat watch like the first one is for me, but as far as Christmas films go, it's pretty good. You got Danny Trejo as as what's her name? Oh my God, what is her name?
Oh my God, what is her name? Oh my God.
Anyway,
Maria's
Harold's
father.
wife's father, Maria, yeah, and there's
And
the
Neil
whole
Patrick Harris. The stuff
scene
with him in this is
uh,
great too.
Of course, yeah. And you have the stop motion stuff, which is wonderful. And I didn't come to this one, just like other things, until very late. But that didn't deter me because I still enjoy this film.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've only watched the first two Harold and Kumar movies like 2 or 3 times and liked them fine, but like stoner comedies typically just aren't my thing. However, I watched the trailer for this movie so many times because I just like cracked up over it. Like I couldn't get over how funny it was. Like I still picture the Neil Patrick Harris part of that trailer in my head of like Harold and Kumar reuniting with him, being like, dude, what happened? You died. He's like, what are you talking about? We watched you die in Texas. You don't remember? He's like, you gotta be more specific. And he's in heaven, and Nick oh my gosh,
Jake Johnson.
plays Jesus. Nick from New Girl.
Oh my
Before
God.
I've even watched New Girl.
It's so, no, his realization when he said that, he's like, you died in Texas. And he's like, you're right.
So, like, I've never seen this movie, but I have seen this trailer.
You have to watch
so
it
many
this
times.
Christmas. You need to watch it this Christmas.
Between that and Violet Night 2, that's just going to be what I do, basically.
Oh, yeah,
so.
that does come out this Christmas.
Yeah, it does. I love Violet Night. Just keep it going.
I don't think Veronica has anything to say about these
I
movies.
have not seen this, although with Bryan and Nick's performance, I feel like I have. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. We don't do it justice, though. Also, I think Harold and Kumar as a franchise is great for representation, so at the very least, it's that.
Yeah, so fun. I love the sequence where they try to get the tree and then the tree explodes. Hold on, that is a perfectly salvageable tree. That was a perfectly salvageable tree. Incredible. And they even make a joke about how Cal Penn went on to work for the White House.
It's
crazy.
All right, Veronica, we're back to
right.
you for your 2 final picks.
My last 2 picks. Okay, I think for the first one, I will go with something that I am surprised got back around to me. Guys, we still have Return of the Jedi on the board.
I
I'm gonna
know.
go ahead and pick that.
You're
Which
going to
is,
put
you know,
2 Star Wars films on
I
your team?
am, yeah. I didn't expect to because I thought someone else would take it, but
All right.
yeah, you know, probably the weakest of the original trilogy. My least favorite, but I mean it's still original trilogy Star Wars. You know, it's yeah. What else has to be said? It's definitely a conclusion to one of the most well-known stories of all time. Ewoks, Darth Vader, got it all. Yeah, Return of the Jedi. I'll take it.
Very good film, weakest of the original trilogy, but a lot to admire about it. Everything with Luke and Darth Vader is great. Endor is a beautiful location that they shot like on real locations. The Ewoks are cool, and Jabba the Hutt stuff is awesome. And Slave Leia also exists.
I mean, I'm wearing a Jedi shirt, so I definitely love the original trilogy. I do love Return of the Jedi. I was also very shocked that we went this long and it was still on the board, or it was still available.
I kind of thought you were going to take it, Meredith, at some
I
point.
thought about it, but you left Civil War to me, so I had to take it. So, I don't know. If I lose, I lose. Par for the course for me. But Return of the Jedi. I do think it is a solid ending. It redeems Lando officially. It gets Han and Leia back together, concludes the love triangle with the reveal that Luke and Leia are siblings. Thank goodness for that, but it makes the kiss in Empire really weird. I love the final battle between Luke, Vader, and Palpatine, and just Vader's redemption. I can't get over Mon Mothma being like, many Bothans died for this information. There's so many great, like, to tie up a story, it does it really well. It's not as dark as Empire. It's not as concise as Star Wars A New Hope is, but I still adore the movie. You know, it's Return of the Jedi.
I'm glad you guys enjoy it. As far as the trilogy goes, I think it's the most unmemorable of it, but yeah, that's about it.
That's all I have to say about that.
That's all I gotta say about that. Where's Forrest Gump 3? When are we getting that?
Where's Forrest Gump 2?
Apparently it was a batshit idea that they just...
Oh, yeah.
I think he was like involved in 9/11 or something ridiculous. That would have been
Why wouldn't he be?
Of course.
How is Veronica going to end her team? I'm so
Alright,
curious.
How am I gonna end this? There's a lot of like franchise stuff left that one in particular I feel like is super popular and could definitely like seal it up maybe, but I don't know. I feel like I've got a good amount of franchise popular stuff, so maybe I'll just go weird on this one. Yeah, let me just do a weird personal favorite that I hope will resonate with some people. Let's go with the 2006 masterpiece, Bring It On, All or Nothing.
Oh my gosh!
I definitely don't have any notes about this.
Third franchise.
I don't either.
Get into it.
You, me, Veronica, let's go.
Yep. Obviously, everyone knows the original Bring It On, Kirsten Dunst and everything. Barely anyone knows the second one, Bring It On Again, I think, which was... That one's not that great. But Bring It On, All or Nothing, starring Hayden Panettiere and Solange Knowles. Come on. I mean, it's got the, the same, like, awkward kind of cultural appropriation structure that most of the Bring It On movies do. They reckon with it. Hayden Panettiere does crump in this movie. Yeah, it's pretty disturbing, but entertaining. And you know what? Rihanna makes a guest appearance in this at the cheer competition. Mm-hmm. Like, come on. Yeah, this is I kind of remember. I love their introduction cheers and stuff. Jake McDorman is like the shitty douchebag boyfriend in this, 2000s classic heartthrob guy. Yeah, this one, it was a childhood favorite. I could pop it on and watch it right now and enjoy myself. So yeah, for the real ones, Bring It On, All or Nothing.
Okay, so I was a cheerleader growing up. I did cheerleading in middle school and high school. So the Bring It On movies, all of them matter a lot to me. I have watched many of them on, ABC Family, now Freeform.
Yes.
Used to do marathons of them. So I have a steady dose of the Bring It On movies. And All or Nothing, I do like that it's the reverse of the first movie where Brittany goes from Pacific Vista, heads to Crenshaw Heights. I like her fish out of water story. Solange is excellent in it. As a cheerleader, I really love the stunts and the choreography that they have going on. And Rihanna being in this movie, this was when Ponda Replay came out. She was big, but she wasn't big yet. And she sings the song at the end, she sings that at the end, but this was pre-Umbrella. Then she was just everywhere, and we can't get Rihanna to make music anymore, which is a detriment to all of us. Rihanna, just give us a new album. We know you can do it. But yeah, I will always have a soft spot for the Bring It On movies. So that is such a good pool. Oh my gosh. And wait a second. Nope, just kidding. I thought I knew the director. I'm just kidding. But Veronica, just great job.
I gotta be me.
No comment.
No,
I do like the first Bring It
gotta
On.
be
I do
you.
like the first one.
Yeah, I do too.
I like the fourth one, In It to Win It, too. When they're
Yes!
at the park. That one's really fun.
When the stunt, how they make it like the roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's practically Romeo and Juliet, West Side Story, the Sharks and the Jets.
It is, yeah. Literally Sharks and Jets.
Yeah.
Wait, have
many are there?
have either of you two? Go ahead, Nick.
That's all I know, but there
I
might...
think there's 5, because
Yeah.
Kristen
5?
Milian was
think they kept
in
going.
another one.
Yes, that's right.
Have either of you seen the stage musical?
No.
Not on Broadway, but yeah, my high school did a production of it and stuff. And
You mean
I
our
know a
high
lot of the
school
music.
did a production
yes,
of it?
I forgot. Yes, which was after I graduated, but my sister and like my friends were in it and stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was aware of it.
Lin-Manuel
Yes.
Miranda was
Lin-Manuel
involved in that,
Miranda.
which I didn't even know until 2 seconds ago.
And the music's great. It's like, it's a very basic, like, tropey story, but the music is
Yeah.
really fun.
Good job.
Cool. Interesting. Okay, my final pick. There are some big ones that are still on the board, which is kind of crazy. But I don't know if I want to pick a basic pick or if I want to do another fun pick akin to Harold and Kumar. That's
Have some fun
tough.
in your life.
You know what? I will. I am going to draft The World's End.
Oh, fuck! I didn't even think about
Does that count?
I
That doesn't count!
I don't know if there's
There's no-
That does not count!
Fine.
No! No!
I'll let him count it
Not
so we can
okay.
talk about it. But unfair.
No!
Why are you abstaining?
Because it's not the same characters. It is loosely connected. It is Edgar Wright's Cornetto trilogy that has
If
similar
the director
actors, but
claims
it's
the
not-
trilogy, then we're going to count it. It's on a list of threequels that I'm looking at right now.
It's an unofficial trilogy.
That
Oh,
is
come
an
on. You added a Bring It
unofficial
On
trilogy.
direct-to-video movie. Let me have my fun.
That wasn't direct to video. I think the second one was, but not all or nothing.
What?
Not Game Pets, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, don't you know anything about it?
I think so.
Don't you know anything about the franchise, Brian?
No, I don't know anything about it. Are you kidding? It says it was released direct-to-DVD.
Maybe.
Well,
I'm looking at it
I
right
would-
here.
I vote to let him have it because I just want to talk about it.
Fine.
I would have picked it,
That's
but
so-
if this is the only way we get to talk about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fine.
Oh, come on. I get to
This
put
whole
a
thing
great
is under
movie on the
protest
board.
now.
All right, so I love each of these films. Hot Fuzz is my favorite comedy ever made. Like, period. That's my favorite comedy of all time. Okay, maybe yes, this wouldn't count, but we're gonna have fun. We're gonna get wild, and we're gonna do
I
something
want to
crazy.
retroactively add Hot Fuzz to my draft from
Direct
last
sequel.
time.
It's
We will let the voters decide. We will
Yeah.
let democracy play out.
So, I love each of these films. The World's End is definitely the most poignant of these three films for sure. I love how each of them are very different from one another. That's the one thing that I've always appreciated the most about these three films. They're so funny. They're so creative. Edgar Wright's style is just so unique, and there isn't anyone out there like him. I wish that we would continue to get this Edgar Wright. I haven't really loved the direction that Edgar Wright has gone these last few years. I did like Last Night in Soho, but I hated The Running Man so much, and I can't entirely blame him for that. I don't know who to blame, quite frankly, and it's certainly not Glenn Powell's fault. He did his best with what he was given. But The World's End, I love that it's this beautiful story of this friendship and how everybody has moved on with their lives, doing things and everything to make them better. But then we have this one character played by Simon Pegg who is still harking on the
Gary
past.
King.
Yeah, Gary King. He just isn't he doesn't want to let this go because this is all he has, and they have this mission to complete this pub crawl that they failed to complete when they were teenagers. And all of a sudden this alien invasion is happening, and it's so clever, and Martin Freeman is in it, and who doesn't love him? And Pierce Brosnan is in it, and who doesn't love him? And David Bradley's in it, and who doesn't love him? And Rosamund Pike is in it, and who doesn't love her? Everything about this movie is so good. And then the way it all culminates at the end with this very epic, emotional gut punch, I love it so much. And it's interesting, too, that this came out the same year as another apocalyptic comedy with This Is the End. I love both of those films equally. I can't decide which one I like more. I've seen both of them probably the same amount of times. I think this might objectively be the better film, but This Is the End might be the funnier film, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it and decipher it, but I love the Cornetto films. I love what Edgar Wright did with all three of them. The World's End is monumental. It's so incredible. Has aged like fine wine. Love it, Valiv. Love it.
So, though I object to you picking this out of principle, I do think The World's End is excellent, and I love that it's actually a story about addiction, and that the 12 pubs that they go to, it's the 12 steps of AA.
Yeah.
There's so much beautiful symbolism involved, and
Yeah,
just
when they get to The World's End and we see that shot of like his wrist and everything, that is really devastating.
It's so devastating, and it is equally funny. It also blends genres, which I think when Edgar is in, I haven't seen his Running Man remake, but I do think he's one of the best directors to blend genre, period. Like, he does it so well. I think he does it best in Hot Fuzz, but he does it exceptionally well here, and also Scott Pilgrim as well. But he also, here, The World's End, he does it exceptionally. I also love that this is another movie we're talking about. There's been a lot of Bond that we have discussed, and we've talked about Daniel Craig, we've talked about Sean Connery, and here we have Pierce Brosnan. So, like, a lot of Bond action with these threequels here, but yeah, I mean, for the Cornetto trilogy goes out with a bang.
And the fact that, like, they were so consistent with having Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg write all three of them, just, like, such electric screenplays, sharp and funny and clever,
Same
and then
tone.
adds same tone. I just really commend. I would love for them to write another project together, and obviously get Nick Frost involved as well. So
Apparently they are.
I would
wait.
I would love that so much. I really need that
But
to happen so badly.
I think at the time The World's End came out, I couldn't believe we were getting a third from them, because Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz are two of my favorite films of all time. And I think it's also a departure for Simon Pegg. Totally different kind of character from Sean and from Nicholas Angel. So seeing
Nicholas
him,
Angel.
I mean, him and Nick Frost both playing totally different characters than they had in those other films.
Yeah,
so I think
and Nick Frost is like the straight man in this.
He's the straight man, yeah, which is it's just interesting. But the like you said, the choreography, the fight scenes is really cool. The I don't know how to talk about these movies, because they are on pillars above most comedies. Like, I think they're almost untouchable. So it's sad when you see Edgar Wright make something like a Baby Driver or like a Running Man. Like,
Whoa! I love Baby Driver.
I like Baby Driver.
Calm down.
I'm not as
think he
high on
does
Baby
his-
Driver as I used to be. It
It
has its moments.
very problematic cast, very problematic.
Yes,
But
I do agree.
that aside, we've had problematic casts throughout this whole thing, so it's okay.
Kevin Spacey
But
gets
I
run
think
over
he-
like 10 times, so that counts for something.
That does count for something.
True. I think they do their best work when they're working together and they're working with, dare I say, British actors, because I really like Last Night in Soho, and I think the one thing that the common denominator is the British aspect of it. But I think The World's End is stellar. I remember watching it in theaters and just being like, wow, I wish we could get 10 more of these films from these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so
agree
good.
with everything that was said. I haven't revisited this in quite a while, but I do remember really loving it.
I think it's really fun too that, like, there's just so many funny moments throughout these movies and everything. Like, A, we're all drunk, and B, we got blood on our hands. It's more like ink. We got ink on our hands.
We got ink on our hands.
Four of those and a water, please. What?
the reoccurring fence scene, just
Climb down the drain pipe.
climb down the drain pipe.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
stuff.
speaking of Bond too, Rosamund Pike.
Yeah,
Pike of the
Rosamund
day.
Pike. So good. Incredible. Okay, Nick, we're back to you for your final pick.
This is really tough because there's several things on here I'd really like to pick, but I think I'm gonna go with a heart pick, and I'm gonna pick Clerks 3.
Ooh. Veronica, we did dirty. We're the New Jerseyans, and we
I
didn't
know,
even.
we're
I
not
didn't even think
representing.
about Clerks 3. Oh my god.
You didn't even think of
Are you
that,
even from
or,
New Jersey?
you didn't
Anything
think
is
of
better
Jay and
than New
Silent Bob
Jersey.
reboot. Oh my god. Well, let's just start out with that song. Like, after watching this movie, it became one of my most played songs of that year.
It's incredible.
If you're a fan of Kevin Smith and you're a fan of Clerks, this is as good as it gets. It blends meta comedy with real life. It takes aspects of the original and mixes it with things that Kevin Smith had going on in his real life. Super meta. His humor is hit or miss for me, but I think it's best in Clerks 1 and Clerks 2. And being able to get Jeff Anderson to come back and be in it was kind of a feat. And I think it's his best. I think it's both of their best performances, him and Brian O'Halloran. And I think what they're able to achieve with this is it's heartfelt. It's pretty depressing too. It's very again, something else that deals with mortality and I don't know, maybe legacy a little bit, leaving something behind, and his need to want to make a film. I just think it's struck me because these guys were young in Clerks 1 and now they're old in Clerks 3, and just seeing them grow and get older and become these mortal beings, I guess. It's maybe that doesn't make sense, but I think it just works super well on an emotional level, and it makes me tear up thinking about it.
I won't say a ton about this. I really like the first Clerks. I enjoyed the second one. I think that this is the best of the three for sure. Definitely Kevin Smith's most emotional film to date and his most poignant. A lot of comedy throughout it for sure. Fantastic opening sequence with Welcome to the Black Parade. Just what a wonderful way of opening up the film and introducing us back to this world with these characters. And yeah, what it has to say about mortality and embracing life and living it to the fullest is surprisingly something that I didn't think Kevin Smith would tackle, but it's very well done. Like it's so well done, and yeah, it's so good. Very underrated film, underappreciated film, and one that a lot of people don't talk about, admittedly. And I understand why, but it's one that's way better than it had any right to be.
Right.
Yeah, I think I only saw this once, but yeah, I do remember thinking it's a pretty successful legacy sequel, which we are like kind of awash in these days. And this one hits the beats right, where you have to you have to address some of the characters getting older, growing up, or growing old, or whatever it is. And so yeah, I think that this one balances the bittersweetness of it pretty well.
So my knowledge of the View Askew movies are a bit hit or miss. Like, I tried to also marathon quite a bit of them. I think Mallrats is probably my favorite of the bunch if I had to pick.
Good pick.
That might be my favorite too, yeah.
I have not seen Clerks 3, but if it's tackling some deep themes like that, maybe one day I will watch it.
Yes. Okay, I'll take it.
All right. Meredith gets to conclude her team and the whole draft. What are you going to put on the board?
I mean, we've gone through to so many places, so many different franchises, so many great films, some just fun films, you name it. And I cannot wait to talk about honorable mentions because my goodness,
Yeah.
do I have a list of stuff of like, and we didn't even talk about this, we didn't talk about that. But something was mentioned in this draft that made my eyes pop, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I did not include this, and I'm so glad I did. I wrote it down, and nobody brought it up. But one of my favorite movies of last year, Wake Up Dead Man.
I have it on my list.
Yeah, I have it on the list. Good pick.
Wake Up Dead Man. So, we have talked about Daniel Craig as Bond, and I have already stated that I prefer him as Benoit Blanc. And my goodness, Wake Up Dead Man, like, all the Knives Out movies I really love, but I especially love what Rian Johnson did with this movie. Talk about another great Josh Brolin performance. His Monsieur Senior Wicks was an excellent antagonist. You have Daniel Craig just continuing to just knock it out of the park and bring a new depth to his character across 3 movies, and just seeing him kind of tackle. There's a lot of Rian Johnson in this movie, and something that I have heard him talk about is just his relationship with faith and a Christian upbringing, and I just think that he experienced a lot of church hurt, and I feel like it was expressed really well in this movie through Benoit Blanc. But I also think the heart and soul of this movie is Josh O'Connor. He is absolutely exceptional as Judd, and the scene that really like sealed the deal for me was his phone call conversation with Louise, the construction worker, and how he just like paused everything in order to just hear her out and to actively like pray for her. I just thought that was just a beautiful testament of what like faith is about and what faith should be. And I love that this movie would really just like tackled, it was a very entertaining, clever murder mystery, but also had so much thoughtful things to say about faith, hypocrisy, technology, yeah, I just thought it was exceptional across the board. Another stacked cast of all-stars, including Glenn Close. Her last scene is just spectacular. Kerry Washington, Mila Kunis did a great job. Andrew Scott, I wish we had a little bit more of him. Jeremy Renner, that kind of breaks my brain because his hot sauce was in Glass Onion, but that's neither here nor there. Thomas Hayden Church, fantastic. Yeah, I would love for Rian Johnson to just keep making whodunits if they're just going to continue to be this clever. I also understand if he wants to take a pause from Benoit Blanc and this world and do something else. He's well within his right, but Wake Up Dead Man is just further solidified for me. He can just keep making these movies as long as he wants to, and I will show up every single time.
I had skipped Glass Onion mainly because the setting didn't interest me. So when I saw where this one was set, I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And I was really, really taken by it. Josh O'Connor and Daniel Craig's relationship, I think it's the best as far as like who Daniel Craig collaborates with in these films. And Josh O'Connor is just wonderful. I've loved him in everything I've seen him do. The humor, there's some laugh out loud moments in this, like with the organ. There's some fucking hilarious.
I'm sorry, that was uncalled for, but I needed you to stop talking.
I'm sorry, I needed you to stop talking.
He loves his musicals.
Or like when the body goes down the stairs, like it's just. I found it to be endlessly entertaining, and what it says about faith and all these other things.
When this came out, I really enjoyed it. Go ahead. Sorry,
I think it delayed me again. I can't remember what I was saying. You go ahead. What you're saying is probably more important than what I'm saying anyway.
No. No, if you want to jump in. But I was just saying that this is, when I first saw it, I was like a little less, I think this is the weakest mystery of the three, but like one of the stronger movies. Because, it's Josh O'Connor is fantastic. I mean, he was in 4 movies last year, and I'd probably give this one to him as his best performance in it. Shout out to Benoit Blanc's first scene, which is like much later in the movie than he appears in the other two. It's on Josh O'Connor's shoulders for a while, but that first scene of the two of them in the church when they're, having that like grander philosophical discussion. And I think this is the best looking Knives Out film. I think that the like some of the lighting decisions and the visuals are just
Stunning.
gorgeous. That church scene, the way that like the light is coming in and out and that sort of surreal lighting that's like darkening the conversation and everything. I just think that's beautiful. I think that I do feel this one is like a little tonally like just off from the first two. Like the first two are kind of very rooted in their political moment, dealing with like Trumpism in the first one, and then like the rise of tech bro kind of thing in the second one, and this one dealing with using religion for these right-wing ideologies, like how that intersects with media. Like that, the first time I saw it, I thought like it feels maybe a little dated. Like that's kind of like an earlier 2000s sort of theme. But another way to look at it is that it's a little more timeless. Like just dealing with religion and how it's been used and abused by certain people and what it can mean, in a purer way to other people. I think that I was not as high on it on the first watch, but I've like definitely come around to. This is just this series I think is just pretty unimpeachable. I really love all three.
It's a great explanation.
I got to see this at the world premiere at TIFF last year, and it was one of my favorite theater going experiences ever, to be one of the first people to see a new Knives Out movie, not know anything about it afterwards and everything, not having to worry about the twist and the mystery and the killer of it all. I liked this more than Glass Onion. I still think the first one is the best of this franchise so far. But I agree with pretty much everything that all of you said. I thought it was really cool, the style that it went, the commentary on religion. Josh O'Connor is unbelievable in this, essentially the lead of the story. Really thought it was cool. His neck tattoo, shout out to that. And, Meredith listed off the entire cast. Maybe I didn't hear her say this name, but she forgot to mention the love of my life, Kaylee Spaney.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So...
I truly
it's
mark
okay.
Against me.
It's okay. It's okay. It's totally fine. Technically, that means the best was saved for last, so I'll look at it absolutely. In that way. But yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was such a fun time. I haven't seen it since I saw it at TIFF, but there were many moments that I loved. Seeing it with the crowd was awesome. It disappoints me that these are just like. They go to Netflix and everything because they're so much fun to watch in the crowd with people and everything. But, if Rian Johnson, like Meredith said, if he wants to keep doing these whodunits, be my guest. I love that he takes his time with them. Craig is awesome. The entire cast is awesome. And I love the sequence where he's looking over the body and he just goes, flesh and blood, that's our wiggly ugly. It just... that's our wiggly ugly. It blows my mind that, like, he went from... okay, let me paint a picture of what it was like for him. Bond, Logan Lucky, Knives Out, Bond again, Knives Out again, Queer, and then Knives Out again. Just for him to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, I don't know how he's able to pull it off. I don't understand how.
And every
he's able
time
to
he
do
went
what
home
does.
to Rachel Weisz.
Every single time.
Lucky bastard.
He seems like he'd be happy to like play Benoit Blanc forever. So
that's what he says in most interviews, and I'm like, please, I'll take your drawn out Southern Kentucky Fried accent. Let's go.
I love him. The donut hole. Oh Lord.
It's all wiggly.
Too good. All right. Well, we done did it. We completed our teams. Now we're gonna recap our teams, say our films, and yeah. So Meredith, we're gonna go to you first.
Oh God.
All right. My team consists of Logan, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Captain America Civil War, The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, and Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery.
Nick?
I started out hot with The Return of the King, then moved on to Skyfall, Mission Impossible 3, The Exorcist 3, Jackass 3D, Clerks 3.
And for my team, I started off with Toy Story 3 and went into The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, War for the Planet of the Apes, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Fairy Harold and Kumar Christmas, and The World's End. Veronica?
I have the very diverse list of Before Midnight, High School Musical 3 Senior Year, Avengers Infinity War, Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, and Bring It On, All or Nothing. Wow.
Two Star Wars movies and an Avengers movie. That's impressive.
And the High School Musical movie.
And Bring It On.
And the Before Midnight. Oh my god. I don't know who's gonna win this draft, quite frankly. This is like probably going to be the hardest one to decipher. So
Yeah.
good luck to everybody.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of honorable mentions. There's a lot of films that we didn't get to. So I'm just gonna speedball through some honorable mentions, and if any of you have anything to say, definitely interject. Okay, Army of Darkness from the Evil Dead trilogy, so good, love it so much. Bourne Ultimatum, admittedly a franchise that I was much higher on back in the day, but since then my love for it has really, really dwindled, but Ultimatum is the best of the trilogy. Die Hard with a Vengeance, another really good action film.
Underrated.
John Wick Chapter 3, fantastic. A fun one, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. Ocean's 13.
I have on my honorable mentions.
Yes.
Ocean's 13, I'm a little surprised that didn't get mentioned, but I'm not sure where all of you guys stand on the Ocean's franchise. Gold Member, the Austin Powers movie.
I wanted to talk about it.
You definitely can if you have anything to add about it. It's so funny. The Steven Spielberg cameo is an all-timer. That's like a fantastic cameo.
The whole intro is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
That's so good.
I think
and then him doing
Goldmember is,
backflips and then showing off his Oscar.
Yeah, I think
And
Goldmember is
Britney
one of the better.
Spears.
And Britney Spears.
Yeah. And
Oh my
Quincy
God.
Jones.
And Quincy Jones. Let's see. What else do I have on the table? I'll mention The Dark Knight Rises, even though it is the weakest of the trilogy. I do like The Dark Knight Rises quite a bit.
I disagree, but okay.
Fair enough. Rocky 3, Nick. Rocky 3.
I had it on my list, but it didn't make it.
Great beach sequence. Great training montage. Spider-Man 3 for the memes, but also I think it's a very fun movie. I enjoy Spider-Man 3. Transformers Dark of the Moon, specifically for the scene where Shia LaBeouf is kicking the car for it to start. That's the main reason why I have it as an honorable mention.
Can I give you a couple?
And Thor Ragnarok.
That was the one that I said was like an easy get. It's just, like beloved and popular and stuff. But
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
I had that as well.
No Fire and Ash for anybody.
No.
I liked Fire and Ash, but it's not one that I immediately thought of. Also, the list I'm looking at, it clearly hasn't been updated, so it's not on the list.
Day of the Dead. Creed 3.
No comment.
Creed 3.
Creed 3, oh my god, Creed 3. The anime style sequences, unbelievable.
Oh my
Jonathan
god.
Majors, why'd you have to ruin that for me?
He had it all. He was so
Yeah.
awesome. It's one of the great travesties.
And he was the one good thing about another threequel, Quantum Manium.
Yep.
Final Destination 3? I think it's maybe one of the better ones in the franchise. Three Colors Red. And then The Trip to Spain.
Oh.
I always bring up the trip movies. I don't think I've managed to get one on a draft yet, but yeah, I love that series.
They're so fun.
All right. For me, I've got Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
I think they did the multiverse correctly in that movie. And actually did justice to Toby and Andrew, especially Andrew Garfield. My
Yes.
goodness.
Yes.
Thor Ragnarok, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that movie.
Rocket
That movie's
Story
so sad.
kills me. How to Train Your Dragon 3.
Fuck!
Perfect
I
ending.
forgot about that one too. Oh.
Ocean's 13. I unapologetically love these movies. Hang on, I'm gonna have to do the refresh real quick because I gotta say my piece about this. Bloop. Ocean's 13. I love the Ocean's trilogy. I don't particularly care for 12 as much as most people, but going back to Vegas, Al Pacino being the villain, chef's kiss. It was perfect for me. Batman Forever. Val Kilmer was one of my first Batman, so I love it. Twilight Eclipse does the love triangle perfectly. Pirates of the Caribbean, At World's End, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Jeremy Irons, underrated Die Hard
Phenomenal
villain.
villain.
And Samuel L. Jackson has excellent chemistry with Bruce Willis.
Yes, he does.
Austin Powers Goldmember, Dark Knight Rises, not my favorite, but should be mentioned. And you know what? I do love Iron Man 3. It's so much better than Iron Man 2.
It's a
I'm a
Christmas
Shane
movie.
Black
It
apologist.
is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, where's Shane Black's next movie? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, true.
Where's the Nice Guys
He
2?
made some.
Well,
He made some. Ugh. Don't
He
even
made
get me
that
started.
shitty Predator movie.
He made
And then
something
Dan
else.
Trachtenberg just took it back. Thank goodness.
That's right. Veronica, any honorable mentions?
yeah, quickly, I'll just go through some. Back to the Future Part 3. I think that's like the least liked, but I've always really loved it, where they're in the Old West. I think it's very fun. Star Trek Beyond, solid part of the trilogy.
I like Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but very solid. Idris Elba in that one. All of the original series, Star Trek, Search for Spock, not as strong as Wrath of Khan before it, but still good. Madagascar 3, I like.
Written by Noah Baumbach.
Right.
Never forget.
Yeah. putting his and Greta's kids through college with that one, hopefully. Godfather Part 3, worth a shout out. You know, obviously the weakest by far, but, you know, still part of an iconic trilogy. Scream 3, I like. The Hollywood satire one. Very funny, very, you know, leaning more into the meta. 28 Years Later, I was not like the biggest fan, but
Yeah.
I think it's definitely worth
Really
a shout.
liked that.
Yeah. And also Quiet Place Day 1 was pretty big fan of that. Lupita Nyong'o was fantastic in that.
Yep.
Some comedies, you got Naked Gun 33 1/3, of course. You've got I will bang the table for Pee-wee's Big Holiday, which was like a straight to Netflix movie in 2016, but I think it's like nearly as good as Pee-wee's Big Adventure, better than the second one, Big Top. So yeah, I rewatch that one all the time. It's very fun. We talked about Paddington in Peru. Definitely, you know, not as good as the first two, but it's still great. Santa Claus 3, Martin Short as Jack Frost.
I'll get
Let's
the mop.
A Haunting in Venice, which is like probably my favorite.
Yes!
Of that series.
Oh,
Like that's
yeah,
easily
That
the
was
best one.
so good.
It's pretty good.
That one was pretty good.
It kind of pales in comparison to Knives Out. Like, you know,
Totally.
it's like we have Knives Out at home, so I would
But
watch
he's
that.
so
But-
good as that character, though.
Yeah.
He's
a good
really
hero.
good in that role. And
Yeah.
the fact that he directed all of them, too, is really impressive, too.
Yeah. And yeah, you got Spy Kids 3D, and you got Chipwrecked, Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I went on my
Fantastic
first.
Beasts 3.
I went on my first date to Chipwrecked, and oh god,
The date or the movie?
awful movie. What'd you say, Nick? Fantastic Beasts 3? Eh,
No Secret of Dumbledore.
no, no. Oh, I'll mention
No.
two more. Men in Black 3. Josh Brolin is amazing as young Agent K, like perfect imitation of Tommy Lee Jones. And American Wedding. I love American Pie. I really enjoy American Wedding. I like how Stifler's the main character of that story.
Yeah.
There's some diverse third movie entries. We got
Yes.
all over the place.
Good thing no one
Covered it
drafted
nicely.
Little Fockers. Thank God.
Yeah. I like the
Never
first two,
even thought
but
about it.
Oh wait, I should forgot to mention The Rise of Skywalker. Just kidding.
Please, no. Hangover 3, anyone?
I mean, you gotta have all
Hangover
three
3.
of the third and the three trilogies. whatever that was supposed to mean.
Cars 3, anyone?
Better than Cars 2.
Jaws 3D, anyone?
Human Centipede 3, anyone?
Jurassic Park 3, anyone?
Alan!
Let's wrap this up.
Let's get it on. Let's get it done.
we did
Veronica, do the outro.
Yes, that concludes our Threequels draft, so be sure to vote on our Twitter and Instagram.
And with that, that is a wrap on today's episode of Some Like It Real. Thank you all for joining us. If you're interested in following on our journey, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Brian Sutfield.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Vera Albarella and on Letterboxd at Alba_real_A.
And thank you to Meredith and Nick for joining us today. Meredith, where can the listeners find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Meredith Loftus.
And Nick?
You can find me on Instagram at BickNisel, and you can find me on YouTube sometimes and Letterboxd at FilmiesNick.
Go give Meredith and Nick a follow. Links will be in the description. And you can follow the show on all socials at Some Like It Real, as well as on YouTube at Some Like It Real. Be sure to subscribe and share it around and tune in every Monday and Thursday for a new episode of Some Like It Real on podcast platforms.
We'll see you next time.